Hello, adventurers, and well met. Welcome back to our Twitch channel here, The Master of Dungeons, twitch.tv/, The Master of Dungeons. Live play D&D back again. We were off last week for a virtual D&D weekend. I think I have that remedy and fixed so that even when we have the virtual D&D weekends, we'll still be streaming our game for some fun. Just a reminder, we are playing the Keys from the Golden Vault, the different adventures from there. Tonight we're playing from the Grave, Part 1. We are playing, of course, by Adventurers League rules on our Sunday night streams. We, of course, are joined again by a couple of our community members. Again, if you want a chance to play in the games, feel free to join our Discord below. Just click on the Discord in the About Us section, click on the Discord panel. You can join our Discord. There's an application in there if you want to have a chance to play some of the future games with us from the Keys from the Golden Vault hardcover from Wizards of the Coast. Again, we do break them down into two parts. We'll be playing part 1 this evening and then part 2 next Sunday evening as well. We do, of course, have our returning cast of characters, and we'll go through and have everyone introduce their characters in a moment. But just a little bit of information about the Golden Vault. The characters are all working. Of course, we have our games kind of situated, and you can set the Keys from the Golden Vault pretty much anywhere. We have them set up in Waterdeep, the City of Splendors in the Forgotten Realms. And basically, the characters are working for the Golden Vault, which is an organization that's rumored to be associated with metallic dragons. And its membership activities are almost impossible for outsiders to track. And basically, what the Golden Vault does is that the organization rights moral wrongs, supports virtuous underdogs, and handles delicate situations that local authorities won't touch. But the Golden Vault's motto does reflect its primary motivation, which is do good no matter the cost. And the characters have their handler, who is Mira Rahir. She's only maybe made 1 or 2 appearances, as the characters are actually working out of the Troll Skull Alley and the manor there that's owned by one Braden Hawks, who is a sympathizer of the Golden Vault, not necessarily a member, but definitely helps everyone out as much as possible. And the characters are staying at the Troll Skull Manor and are planning their heists in that area there. So let's go ahead and introduce our characters. First of all, everyone go ahead and start with inspiration. And we'll start with Stinkfoot and Snaps, and Reginald will have you give us just a quick recap of your character's race, class, and level, any pronouns, etc. And then we will introduce our 2 new team members. So Stinkfoot, please give us and the viewers a reminder of your character.
Greetings. I'm coming to you from a hotel room. If I happen to look like a ghost, there's horrible lights in here. I am Stinkfoot Alabaster Grasper. I am a School of Abjuration wizard, level 6. I did pick up when we bumped from 5 to 6. I picked up the Wand of Lightning Bolt, so I'll be doing my best to put that to good use tonight.
All right, thanks, Stinkfoot. Then we have Snaps.
Yes. I'm playing Gimbal Snaps McCracken. He is also a deep gnome, coming from the same sort of underground village as our esteemed friend Stinkfoot, but I am a thief rogue, 6th level. Chaotic neutral, kind of likes to keep things changed a lot. The lower lifted up, the high and mighty.
Very inquisitive as well, likes to ask questions.
Likes to ask questions all the time.
All right, thank you, Snaps. Then we have Reginald.
Hey folks, I will be playing Reginald, the Harengon Swarmkeeper Ranger, with their gaggle of raccoons. Also level 6. They escaped from prison to start working with the Golden Vault, and after reaching level 6, they decided to pick up a +2 longbow.
Nice. All right, thank you, Reginald. Then we have our new team members coming us from 2 streams in a row. We've had our friends from the north come into play from Canada there. We have Sergeant Hunley playing Bucket. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about Bucket.
That's right. Bucket is a bard, level 5, is 4 feet tall. He resembles like a metal trash can with 2 legs and 2 arms. He's got an antenna on top of his head and all that, and it's all made of rusted metal with some patches of red. So you can imagine when it was built, it was all shiny red, but now it's all rusting away and stuff. And So that's what Bucket will look like. And he's just a very young character. He used to work in the library, but he set it on fire one day, so they kicked him out. And now he's looking for something to do, to redeem himself. And
All
pronoun
right.
is it, basically. So it's a thing. So.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Bucket. And then we have Red Pink Rambo playing Salvatore.
So Salvatore is a variant human. Nobody's really sure what the other half of him is. He's not even sure. He grew up on the streets. It wasn't an easy life, but he made it his. And he is a 6th level rogue assassin.
All right. We have an assassin and we have a thief with us tonight. Excellent. Okay. So, of course, you are all gathered at the Troll Skull Manor, which, of course, is above the Lift Spirits, a small tavern that Braden Hawks owns as well. And as usual, you do happen to receive a package that is delivered discreetly to your chambers and your apartments there above the Lift Spirits. Of course, you hear the familiar knock at the door whenever you're about to receive a mission. Oh yes, Stinks Raven's here as well, but of course they don't have a voice, so unfortunately. But Snaps, you're going to do the honors as normal.
Oh, yes, I will open the door. Who's that? What's going on? And I walk over and I open the door and smile really broadly because I always get excited when we have visitors.
Is it dinner?
Maybe. I hope.
There
Oh,
is
no.
a cloaked figure there and says, "Snaps the Kraken, delivery for you," and hands over a box wrapped in some sort of butcher paper with a little twine outside.
I will take it and I will give a little small bow. Thank you very much. And I shut the door. I take it over to the table. I say, here you go, guys.
Oh, this doesn't look like dinner. What is it?
Well, Bucket, why don't you open it up and find out? It may be our next mission.
I take the box and I'll shake it to see if it rattles anything. It's like, I hope it's
Gently, Bucket, gently.
I hope it's not.
It does not
It
rattle.
doesn't rattle. Okay.
Correct.
I'll open it carefully this time, since we don't need to rattle the box. So I'll open it and I'll look inside.
Yeah, so beneath the wrapping paper, the plain paper is just a plain wooden box. Opening it up, set in a nice form-fitted enclosure with velvet on the inside, you find a key. And there's the key.
Ooh, a key with a skull head.
It's got a skull in it. Is that a
And
message?
now we can test this out. There we go. Now everyone should have a nice view of the key.
That's a nice key. It's got a skull on it.
Oh, nice. Yes, that could mean something, and it may not. We've had several of these.
I don't want
keys
it, and I give it to you.
Okay, I take the key. I'm like, okay, sure.
I'll pull out the music box and set it on the table for Snaps.
Okay.
Oh, all right, Reginald, thank you. Here we go. I'll open the box with the key.
All right. As you insert the key, the lid pops open to the music box, and of course you hear the same soothing voice. Greetings, operatives. The Knaith mandolin has been stolen from the grave of a famous bard, whose spirit remains restless from the injustice. The Golden Vault wants the instrument returned to its proper owner. This quest, should you choose to undertake it, requires you to travel to the small village of Toadhop, about a half a day or so away from Waterdeep. Of course, details will reveal themselves to you shortly after your arrival. Good luck, operatives. And the music box closes and the key disappears.
Oh,
Ah, see. No
where did
worries,
it
Bucket.
go?
It's gone.
Oh, okay. Oof. I guess we're doing this.
I feel the need to ask because you mentioned dinner. What do
Mhm.
you eat, Bucket?
Nothing. I was just concerned about you guys. I eat knowledge.
Oh,
Well,
like
good to
books?
know.
Yeah. I don't eat. I don't sleep. I can't smell anything. I feel like I'm missing out on life.
Oh, perhaps one day you can turn into a real boy.
Heard that somewhere, but I can't remember.
But
It
if
comes
anyone's skilled
around.
with,
It goes around here and there.
anyone
So,
skilled with history can feel free to make a history check to give it get you an idea of where this village of Toad Hop is.
and it's Toad Hop, HOP.
Yes, I'll
Okay.
put that in the chat for you.
All right, Toad Hop.
Oh,
I have only one in history. I'll give it a shot. I'm not
I have
proficient, but I
3.
have one in history.
There you
nice. Yeah.
13.
You definitely have an idea. You've heard of Toad Hop before. It's a really small farming community. About maybe a population of around 30. It's a small little rustic hamlet, about a half a day's journey from Waterdeep. You do know that there's an inn there known as the Misty Bunks, and there's a small little quaint traveler's tavern there as well, called My Left Boot.
I think I've worked at the tavern before. I might have entertained some people there.
Oh, how did you find it? Was it a pleasant place?
I think they kicked me out.
Oh,
If
well,
I remember
maybe not
correctly.
or
Well,
maybe.
my lute was out of tune, and it's a long
Oh,
story.
well, maybe they were pleasant. Your music just wasn't.
Yeah,
But
but
with
I'm
the
willing to go back.
with the history check of 18, Snaps, you kind of remember a little bit about this. You've heard of this bard that they're speaking of. He's famous from Toad Hop. His name is Frodrick Dartwild. He's a famous bard that was born and actually raised in Toad Hop itself. I'll put the name in chat there for everyone. And it's pretty much all pretty much the most famous person that's ever came out of this small village. And you're you're fairly familiar about how to get to the village.
Okay.
Snaps, do you tell the others? Do you tell us about this, Frederick?
Yes, as I'm recalling, I go ahead and I give a fairly good description of where I think the village is, and about this bard that this Frodrick Dartwild is quite an accomplished bard. That I'm not sure if his skills are quite as high as yours, Bucket, but
He's a legend.
we should at least pay him due respect if we do meet him. And he is the owner of the mandolin, correct? Is what we're gathering?
Well,
We need to return it to him.
as the mission mentioned, he's actually dead, and it was
Oh,
stolen from the mandolin was stolen from his grave.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes. All right. So he is deceased, but it was a stolen mandolin from his grave. I understood. Okay. And I explained this what I'm remembering about the area to everyone in the party.
Oh, I've heard of him from tales. He's a legend in the bard community. I didn't know he was dead. Oh, maybe there's hope for me. Yeah, I can replace him one day.
Oh, well, I don't think you would like to be in the grave. That wouldn't be a good place to be.
Yeah, that's it wouldn't, no, maybe it wouldn't be fun. Yeah.
Not much of an audience, I hear.
It's very quiet.
So if you want to, you can stop by. Of course, you're in the city of Waterdeep, city of Splendors, everything pretty much that you'd like to purchase. If you want to purchase anything before your trek, no problem. With your contacts around. Of course, Braden will give you the use of some horses if you need some horses to make your way out to the village of Toad Hop.
Yeah, about how far is this village from us now, Snaps?
Oh,
Day's
it's
ride.
just within a day's ride.
Yeah.
We
With
could
my
make it
short
fairly
legs,
quick.
it'll take us 6 months. So I think horses are good.
Horses it is then.
Or I
Does
can ride
anyone
on
need
somebody's
anything?
shoulder.
Do you guys need
Yeah.
anything from the city? Salvatore, do you need anything before we go?
No, I'm good, but thank you.
Okay. Excellent.
Will Bucket fit in a bag of holding?
I'm sorry.
Why,
Is
sure.
everybody in this party small sized?
I think Reginald might be the tallest of us all.
Yeah, I think Reginald's medium.
Well, no, except for you. You're a variant human.
I'm medium sized. I'm just curious
yeah,
if everybody else
You're-
is small sized or not.
I think Reginald is
It's
probably
you and me,
almost your-
Salvatore. Everyone
Yeah,
he's
else
about your
is
size.
little folk.
Bucket remembers school and he goes, can we fit Bucket in the closet? It's like in the locker. So Bucket doesn't want to go in the bag of holding. You can try, but
Well, of course, Braden does have ponies, knowing, of course, that Stinkfoot and Snaps are of smaller stature and can, of course, provide a pony for Bucket as well.
all right. I'm gonna name mine Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, nice. Is there anything else specific you'd like to do in town here in the city before you head out? If not, go ahead and give me a ready check in Roll 20 when you are ready. If there's anything else you'd like to pick up or anything like that.
I've still. Oh, go ahead, Salvatore.
Since I'm leaving town, I might need to check in with my employer.
Okay.
all right.
Salvatore works for a criminal underground called the Syndicate,
Mm-hmm.
and he is just going to make sure that there isn't something else that he could possibly be doing for his boss while in this town.
We do find out that the Syndicate has been working around a little bit, clearing out this new thieves guild that was called the Agile Hand, that was trying to make a name for themselves in Waterdeep. But they let you know, of course, that if you have the other business to attend to, there's no problem if you need to leave for a bit of time.
If
Of course,
you need my services while I am gone, you know how to reach me.
Of course. And if
But
you
of course.
find anything that the Syndicate might be interested in, feel free to bring that back as well.
Of course.
Bucket caused a brawl in the tavern last night when he was performing, so he's eager to leave town.
Well, to be fair, we caused a brawl in a bar not too long ago.
It's
That
our
is true.
specialty.
Well, what they say was my fault, but I don't think it was my fault. I mean, it's not my fault if these people had no taste in music.
True.
So does the auto gnome use auto tune?
Sure.
Fair enough.
Sometimes he doesn't even use notes. He just
So yes, you're able to gather up on the horses and ponies and start making your way to the village of Toad Hop. It does take you about a half a day's journey, maybe a little bit faster, as Stinkfoot and Snaps both have an idea of the location. I mean, it's such a small hamlet. Again, only about 30 people in the population. But as you kind of start riding and you kind of see the village, little hamlet coming up into view, everyone give me a perception check. Reggie, you've got your new passive perception. I'm going to let you use that of your passive perception now of 19.
Sure.
So you will not have to make a check. Just to kind of hear some of the things, you were just told to go to Toad Hop and eventually things would present themselves to you. And as you're making your way through, of course, Froderick, famous bard raised here in Toad Hop, is all that it seems the hamlet is talking about. just whispers of townsfolk here and there. You happen to see a rather odd-looking cow that's being led around the town, and it seems to have on the side in white paint the word mayor written on the cow's flanks. And everyone kind of tips their straw hats to the cow as it comes by every once in a while.
Where the
And
town's mayor is a cow.
pardon?
The town's mayor is a cow.
Seems that way.
Wow.
That's what the cow has painted on its side. And of course, you do see the sign for the tavern of My Left Boot outside. But it seems that the people around the area here in the village, they seem like a frightened, troubled look on the faces of these hardworking folk around this rustic thorp. And you kind of hear that Frody died, as they call him, Froderick, died about a month ago. And there just seems to be some sort of concern amongst the villagers.
Well, I lean over and I say, "Well, you look at that. Some wizard has turned the mayor into a cow. What should we do? Should we go talk to them?
We should talk to the cow.
Yeah. Maybe he needs help.
I mean, I
Probably.
could talk to the cow.
What's that, Salvatore? You want to talk to it first?
No. I don't believe that he was turned into a cow.
Oh, okay.
Given the fact that we received reports that the mayor passed away recently, this may be an interim thing.
Or a
But-
permanent thing. Maybe they elected a cow.
Maybe they did elect a cow, and if that is
I like
the
this
case,
sound.
then I have questions about how they get anything done.
I remember reading a
I'd like to
missive.
cast detect thoughts on the cow.
You cast detect thoughts, and you hear, "Moo."
I cast
did you
comprehend languages. No, just kidding.
I was gonna say,
And
I,
so you boo.
I guess
I'm not letting
fireball.
you off the hook,
Stage.
Mitch.
I feel like I read a missive somewhere when I was in jail about a town who had elected a cat as their mayor. This isn't too outlandish.
Yeah, it's a new age. Sure. Maybe
I
they'll
suppose it
elect.
depends on what sort of cat it was.
Good point.
After all, a tabaxi is humanoid, but is technically still a cat.
I believe it was referred to as a tabby cat.
Oh, baha.
Tabby,
Aha.
tabaxi,
It,
sounds pretty close to me.
it could be.
On
So
second
is
thought,
it-
I don't
is-
think I want to
is-
talk to a cow.
Is the cow wearing is it painted that says mayor, or does he have a sign? That
No, it's
somebody put-
painted in white on
Cool.
the cow's flanks. It just says mayor.
Okay, well,
Of course, there are
Uh,
some, a handful of villagers as they're passing by. Of course, as I mentioned, you do see the sign for My Left Boot at the tavern.
mhm.
You can talk
yeah.
with some of the townsfolk. You could head to the tavern, perhaps see if the barkeep has any information for you.
I would think that we should go to the tavern. I don't want to talk to this cow, and I would like to see if they have any grape juice.
So maybe we can ask about the cow at the tavern. I mean, it's,
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe they're
let's
having
pass on the
steaks for
cow
dinner.
now.
yeah, maybe that's just lunch walking. over
Steaks
there.
for dinner at the tavern later.
A mayoral stakes.
Don't say that too loud, though. I don't want to offend anyone.
Especially the cow.
Yes.
Yes,
the
that tends to
tavern.
sour the meat.
So I'm guessing we see the village like we probably 30 people. We probably see the entire village. It's
Oh
probably
yeah,
tiny.
I mean it's not very large at all. It's the road passing through. It's just like a road stop on the side of the road for travelers and such like that. It's not even, the roads aren't even really large enough for like a merchants or anything to come through. So it's fairly rustic, fairly small little thorp out in the middle of nowhere.
It got bigger. Last time I was here, I think it was much smaller. But wow, it's growing. Hey, the population almost doubled since we walked in. That's great.
Snaps rides his pony over to near the stable or whatever where they park the livestock and things inside of the near the tavern.
Yeah, there's some places to hitch the horses out front.
Yeah,
Some
he ties it
troughs,
up and
it's a couple small little troughs out front. Not a whole bunch. Again, this is just a small. It's not really. I won't say broken down, but it's really made of thatch and wood. Not really a lot of dab and wall or anything like that. But it is a fairly small, a quaint little tavern. And,
and
stepping
before
in-
he goes in the tavern, he looks at the crowd that has this procession with this cow. Snaps will be looking at the crowd and seeing if
Oh,
anybody sticks out, like there are any unsavory characters or something odd.
yeah, there's no. It's not really a crowd. It's just a person leading the cow through town, and everyone
Okay.
just every once in a while just nods to it or whatever.
Okay, all right, I see.
I'm gonna tie up Ronaldo and I'm gonna say, "Stay, good boy." And I
Yeah.
guess we're walking into the tavern.
Okay. As you do, you only see a couple of people inside. It's about a little after midday. You got up that morning, received the quest from the Golden Vault. Entering in, you see probably people that would come in for their noontime meal have probably already went back to work. And you see a cheery female dwarf behind the bar. And she kind of looks up as you come in. She goes, "Oh, welcome, welcome, please, travelers. It's been so long since we've had anyone even come through the village. Please, my name's Huberta Hadley. Please, have a seat. What can I do for you?"
Thank you very much. Would you happen to have any grape juice, or if you don't, some watered down wine would be great. I'm really thirsty after my ride, all the way from Waterdeep I came.
"Ooh, the City of Splendors. Yes." And she kind of glances over, kind of noticing that you're all adventurers. She says, "Oh, I see. Yes, yes. Drinks for everyone, please." And you can see her face kind of get a little bit more serious. And she takes everyone's order, and after a few moments, she's definitely behind the bar, seems to know what she's doing, sets everyone's drinks down for them. And you see she kind of shoos away one of the old sots from the village that is in the tavern most of the time. And she kind of walks over and closes the door and walks back around behind the bar. Says, I see that you're, I'm assuming you're here for what's happening, right?" She kind of gives you a wink.
Well,
Uh,
we want to
yes,
ask about the
and I
cow
wink right
first.
back. Yes, we're here for what's happening.
What's wrong with the cow? We saw a cow on the way here. It says mare on it. Is that
Oh
the
yes, yes,
mare?
that's Genevieve. No, she's just a very friendly cow. She's just we don't have a mayor here in Toad Hop, but the people have all kind of made her the honorary mayor.
Oh, so she
You
was
don't
elected.
Kind of chuckles a little bit.
you don't have a mare? Do you want one?
No,
I'm
we're
available.
okay here. We're okay here.
Oh, oh, okay. But
But,
yes, we are here for whatever you were saying.
yes,
Yeah,
we'll see.
I ask immediately. In addition to what's happening, wink. I would like to ask a question, and I kind of lean over. What happened to Froderick? We didn't know he was gone.
Yes, yes, he died about a month ago. Everyone in town attended his funeral, but the problem is he's crawled out from his grave and returned to the cabin where he was born, where he spent his childhood. Of course,
My.
the family that owns the cabin now is all out of sorts, to say the least. And the family that lives there, a couple and their 3 daughters, are staying with neighbors until this grave matter, as it were, is resolved.
Are you sure he
Grave
was
matter
really
indeed.
dead?
Yes,
Well,
good point, Bucket.
Maybe he
not
was
really.
just sleeping.
And, he was dead. Dead. Yes, he definitely was dead. Dead.
Did you kill him?
No, I believe
Oh,
he died off on some adventure. He hasn't been back here in Toad Hop for some time.
oh. Well, he's alive. I guess we can talk to him, right?
Yes, of course. I mean, if you want, I can give you directions, of course, to the old Darkwild cabin. Perhaps maybe find out why our village's most famous bard has returned from the dead.
Well, that sounds like a good place to start as any. What do you think, guys? And look over at
I'll
everyone.
ask Huberta if there's anyone else in the tavern we should talk to before we head out to the
Oh no,
house.
no, there was only one person in there. They had most people have left for their noonday meal
Oh,
after their meals, and there
Roger.
was
Okay.
saw that was there that the old drunkard that was at the bar, and she kind of shooed him out and then kind of shut the door to kind of get a little bit of privacy.
You said he went back to the cabin where he grew up. Like, where are his parents? Are they still in town? Do
Yeah,
they still live here?
still dark wild cabin, and she gives you directions, maybe a half a mile outside of the town.
Where
And
was he
are you-
buried?
yeah.
Well, the local cemetery is not very large, but generations of people from Toe Top are buried there.
Good point, Salvatore. Perhaps we should look at this gravesite also at some point.
Yeah,
Maybe
definitely.
maybe
Well, if
start
it's in
there and then
town,
go.
yes. I was thinking that. After all, if this guy is undead and walking around, it's not like he's going to keel over and die again.
Mm.
Good point. Good point.
I'm still not convinced he was dead, but what about Frederick's parents? Are they still in town?
Oh no! His parents passed long ago.
Ooh, it's a family thing then, huh? Okay. Well, what do you want to do, guys?
Well, after our drink and maybe a bite to eat, I think we should go to the graveyard first and look at that just briefly. See what's happened. See where he came from. Investigate his grave. Then perhaps
Yeah.
go on over to the cabin.
Yeah, you could easily. I mean, again, this village is so small; it's a hamlet. There's not even a church or a temple or anything of that nature in it, and you can easily get directions, of course, from Huberta, and she can point you in the direction, obviously, where the cemetery is, and of course, where the Dartwild farm, the Dartwall cabin is as well. And making your way through the small little quaint village, you do come upon the cemetery. It's not extremely well kept. It is kept up enough to where you can read the tombstones and such like that. But of course, in the middle, where of course somebody famous of a certain statue like Frederick, you do see a rather large headstone. But the graves seem to have been dug up.
Well, if he crawled out, that makes sense, right?
Go ahead and give me a simple nature survival check.
Ooh. Nature. Yeah. Not very good in nature.
So yeah, Stinkfoot kind of looking around the outside of the grave, you definitely notice that if somebody would have climbed up out of the grave itself, there would just be like the hole with the eruption of the earth coming out of the grave itself. But there's literally piles of dirt around the outside of the grave itself where it's definitely been dug up.
How deep is it?
About 4 to 5 feet deep.
Bucket jumps in it, in the hole,
Sure.
and
Son of a-
I'll take a close up, guys.
Okay,
Find
Bucket, be careful
something.
down there.
What
When you
the?
get down, go ahead.
I
Just
just want
what
to look
the-
around. Yeah.
Yeah, when you get down there, it's a fairly not. I mean, it's nice. It's not extremely extravagant coffin, but it definitely the whole top part is basically the one piece was like a more kind of like a um, the lid's definitely been pried off of it. It does not appear as if it was like pushed open from the inside. Someone definitely dug up the grave, and someone definitely opened the coffin itself.
Hmm.
Well,
Somebody pulled him out of here.
well, that
Well,
or
if he was buried with his instrument.
yeah, I was just about to say they could have dug him up for the mandolin. I don't know how spirit stuff works or undead, but maybe he's searching for his instrument?
Maybe he wasn't dead, and his friends heard his voice and they dug him out.
You keep implying that he wasn't dead after we've been assured that he was dead. I
I
either
only
feel
believe
like
the-
there's something you need to tell us, or we may need to educate you on the fact that those mortals can die and we cease to function.
Out of
Well, you see, when
character.
I sleep, I don't really sleep, right? I shut down. So I go in standby mode, and you might think, "Oh, Bucket is dead," but please don't bury me overnight. I'm not dead. I'm just in standby mode. Just
Okay,
kick me, and I'll wake up.
So allow me to give you a very crucial piece of information about mortals.
Oh, I'm here
When
for
we
this.
die, we don't come back. Or we shouldn't come back. It's against the laws of nature for us to come back after we have ceased breathing.
Well, you've seen my nature check, so I'll take your word for it then.
You should take my word for it. It's what I made my living on.
Wow, more information that I learn. I learn stuff every day, guys. I don't know about you, but this is great.
Out of character, I really hope we find this dude and he's just covered in dirt, but plenty alive. Just like got buried on accident.
Who's
No,
teaching who now?
Well, don't forget that was a thing, right? Like they
Yeah.
used, that's why they had the bells on the graveyards, because people would get
Mhm.
mistakenly
Oh, yeah.
buried and then you'd have to ring the bell for them to come get you out.
And hope they heard.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, isn't that why it was called the graveyard shift?
But Bucket would not know that. So
No, I'm sure that's not the case of they're probably undead, but Otter really hopes that this is just a really grungy, angry dude who got buried and is just like, where the hell is my instrument?
anything
Who are-
else in the tomb, in the coffin, or underneath it? Or...
You go ahead and give me a medicine check while you're down there.
Ooh, geez,
Kind of
nature
looking inside the
medicine.
coffin itself.
I'll throw a raccoon down there just for giggles.
21. Well, keep Ralph with you. I got it.
And don't
There
forget,
is-
we do have a member from our stream is saying that remember our message that was someone dug up his grave and stole his mandolin, and he
Mhm.
wants it back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
So
the raccoon gave you a pat on the back anyway, so it's a 25.
Nice.
Yep.
Gave you some
Hey,
guidance.
nice.
Nice.
Definitely, you definitely see in the coffin itself, definite sign. I mean, it's for one, it stinks. Well, you can't smell. But
What?
the rest of you up around the grave outside can definitely smell the decaying. That you smell the perhaps you've definitely as adventurers smelled before the decay of a body, and Bucket, you can definitely see evidence inside of rot and such from a corpse.
I lean over and I say, "I'm glad you can't smell that, Bucket."
I don't even know what smelling is. Another thing I have to learn. But can somebody put me out of here? And I try to jump, like, it's like I can.
I'll toss a rope down to him.
Okay. Oh
I'll
yeah, you can
grab
easily
it.
get out
I'll grab
climb
it.
up out the grave.
Yeah.
Pull him on up out of there.
Oh, look, I'm all dirty now. Oh, I stop hitting myself.
Well, didn't find much here. Looks like definitely been dug up. I guess on over to the cabin. What time of the day is it?
Just
PM?
pardon me. It was you arrived just after lunchtime, so it's still
Okay.
early in the afternoon.
All right.
Did anybody stop us when we went to this gravesite? This is a village of 30 people, and we've got 5 brand new fresh faces just wandering around going to a graveyard.
You do
Jumping
happen to
in a
notice-
grave.
Like,
You do happen to
I
notice
just fell in.
they are kind of glancing at you every once in a while, but obviously they can tell that you're adventurers, and just even with your passive perceptions and stuff, kind of you hear a few people talking about, oh, I really hope the adventurers are here to help us to find out what's going on with Frody. As you're walking through, no one, and of course, no one is really hindering you, or you see a few people kind of staring sideways at you a little bit. Some of the older folk, as old people tend to do when things are unfamiliar around them. But the majority of the people are just kind of giving you a little bit of a berth, a fairly wide berth to they're hoping that that's what you're here for.
If
As,
I,
as we're traveling through, I have Skag the Raven following places that we're leaving. Just like after we left the bar, did anyone come or go that looked suspicious? After we left the grave area, had anyone do anything? Like just keeping an eye as we're
As
traveling, looping around.
As we're starting to travel towards the cabin, the Raven does telepathically communicate with you that it appears that there are like 4 youths following you, 4 young, maybe teenagers, kind of sticking, to the bushes and the trees and stuff like that, as you're traveling to the cabin.
I thank Skag and I let I'll let Snaps know
Okay.
without giving too much away.
And I get your message. And so as we're walking towards the cabin, I kind of slow my step down and I kind of start walking really slow to see how close they get as they can catch up. I let everyone kind of move up. And then I get a few coin out of one of my pouches, and I kind of drop one occasionally.
Okay.
The silver, drop a
Okay.
silver.
So I think
just
we
keep
need to
walking.
rest.
You
I
don't
think
have to
Snaps
be
is tired, is walking slow. I think we need to take a rest. Okay, Snaps?
Yeah, you don't
And-
even have to make a perception check to spot these kids. They're really curious, just kind of following you. Maybe they haven't seen adventures, obviously, probably not in a small village.
Okay.
They just definitely seem to be more curious than anything else.
I turn around and with a sleight of hand, I'll take some of the coins and I'll roll them across my knuckles, kind of back and forth, and flip a few in the air, and then I kind of chuck it at them. Just throw the coins right at them, and then I turn around and walk back with my friends.
As you do that, they're like, "Hey, get heaven! I told you it wasn't being stealthy enough." And they kind of grumble, and you can still hear them rustling around in the bushes as you kind of get to the front of the cabin. Of course, as you get there, the front door of the cabin is wide open, and a rotten stench emanates from it.
Still don't
Oh.
smell
Of
it.
course, you do hear the noise behind you, the clumsy local youths kind of keeping their distance, especially once they catch that whiff of that unnatural smell. One of them says, "Dang, if they ain't going inside." The other one hisses, "Shut up, or Frody might hear you."
Do we all hear this or just Snaps?
Oh yes. That's the kids behind you. They're trying to be sneaky, but to your experienced senses as adventurers,
about how
you
far
definitely-
away would you say they are?
well, maybe 20 yards.
I'll make sure they see Skag, but don't have a an angle to like throw a rock at him or something. But I'll let them know that we know that they know that we know that they're there.
Oh, they know because Snap's already
Right.
tossed them some coins. Yeah.
I'm just
Well, more along
gonna
the lines of like, yep.
I'm just gonna leave a
Roll initiative.
raccoon, let a raccoon peel off of me and wander its way over towards the kids.
You're gonna throw away a raccoon at it.
And the raccoon is gonna walk up to one of the kids and hold its hands out and see if any of the kids decide to touch the raccoon.
Are they armed? Or just
Nope, just little
You
furry
see
raccoon.
One of them reaches into their pocket and pulls out, got a little lint on it, but a piece of hardened cheese, and kind of passes it over to the raccoon.
The raccoon will take the cheese, but when it touches the kid's hand, it's gonna cast light.
Okay.
you're gonna terrorize the kids?
Yes. And they all scream real quickly, and they all run off.
Like, come back! Come back! We want to talk to you.
I mean, they're
Oh,
hightailing
Oh, I get my
Reginald, we needed to interrogate them.
I take my crossbow and no, I'm just kidding.
Do
What
it.
was it Salvatore was talking about war crimes earlier?
Yeah.
There's just a very bright child running the other direction.
Oh yes, yes.
Well, that would be easy to track if we needed to.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the
Parents don't
light.
teach their children anything these days.
But yeah, the door of the cabin with that rotten stench emanating from it is right there, wide open in front of it.
Well,
Do we hear any noise coming from it?
You hear like buzzing.
Buzzing.
Like flies, you know?
Yeah, definitely a buzzing of flies.
Mm.
I figure if there's undead in the area, the children probably shouldn't be near the cabin. So I figured
And
the
have a
best
light.
bet would be for them to leave
Scrap.
of their own
Yeah.
accord.
Community service. Good
I'll
job.
lean over and I'll tell Salvatore that I'm going to go around back to check the back door to see if there's anything in the back right quick. I said I'll be back in a moment.
I'll go with you so you're not alone.
Okay, great, thank you. Yeah, so
Try to be quiet.
myself and Stinkfoot, we kind of creep around to the back, just kind of look, see if there's a back door that's open or any other windows or anything are open.
There's a
Salvatore's gonna
back
stand at the door, just looking like the Grim Reaper in a green cloak, because I have a cloak of elven kind, and so like the hood is up, making me actually rather difficult to see.
Yeah, if you want to give me a stealth check, anyone wants to give me a stealth check, feel free to give me a stealth check. As you're
Do I get
you know,
plus that
creeping up
advantage?
the cabin
Yeah.
itself, you know, even standing there towards the front.
25 for Bucket. Bucket disappears, he's invisible.
Wow.
27 for Salvatore. Nice. Yeah, you're all fairly quiet. I mean, very quiet. Creeping around the back, you do see that there is a back door. I mean, it's a small cabin, maybe 3 rooms inside, if the inside of the cabin's lucky. You do see an outhouse back behind the cabin as well. But yeah, there doesn't seem to be locked or anything of that nature.
Okay.
Should we knock on the door maybe? And
Well, the door's standing wide open. The front
oh,
door
it's
is.
wide open. Oh, open. Maybe he's got an open door policy. Maybe we can go in.
Yeah,
Or-
so the Sneakfoot and Snaps, you come back around the front.
We'll come back around the front. Yeah, I just
Okay.
wanted to check if there's another entrance.
Yeah.
Or exit.
So yes, pardon me. As you enter the cabin, it's full of buzzing flies all over the place, flitting about, and seated in a dark corner behind a rickety kitchen table is what's attracting the flies. You see a putrid human corpse with yellow eyes. And it kind of looks over to you in a raspy voice. The creature says, "Well met. My name is Froderick Dartwild. My friends call me Frody."
Hi, my name is Bucket. My friends call me Bucket.
Well
Hello,
met.
Frody.
Well
We
met.
we have we have a little bit of information that you are supposed to be in a grave, but you're sitting here in front of us. What gives?
Yes.
I like what you've done with the place. And I look around.
You definitely can see evidence all around you that whatever the family was here, I mean, they left in such a hurry. Things are toppled over here and there. And he's like, well, I didn't intend to frighten away the cabin's owners, but of course, my appearance can't be helped, and I really had nowhere else to go.
Well, no, see, you do have somewhere to go, and it's a lovely 6x4 pine box that's sitting in the ground.
We saw it.
Lovely box, really,
Yeah.
truly.
Yes.
That's
And I
the
think
general.
to begin with, you should probably give those people back their home, because this isn't your home anymore.
That's true, yes. Of course, they were too frightened to speak to me, and I have been waiting for braver souls to arrive.
We are
Might-
brave.
Might you hear my plight?
Of course, sir. Perhaps you could tell it to us on the way back to the graveyard,
We're gonna bury you back.
so that we can get you back to where you truly belong. Because your time here on Earth, or on
I want to take
Faerun?
notes. I want to take
Faerun,
notes while
yes,
you tell your story because I'm gonna write a song about it. Uh, so
Yes, because I think your time here on Faerun is over, my friend.
Unfortunately, until this situation is handled, I do not feel as if I will be able to rest, unfortunately.
what situation?
Well, seems that two halflings dug up my grave in the dead of night and stole my mandolin. It was a gift. I want it back.
Have you ever heard that you know when you die you don't bring your stuff with you? It stays. Have you ever heard of a wheel? And
He kind of looks down to his body. He looks back up and goes, well, apparently, if they take it from my grave, I won't be able to rest.
oh,
Can you tell us anything
And-
about these halflings?
I could hear them talking to each other as they broke into my coffin. I think they said one called one the mackerel, and the other one's name was Trout.
with the fishermen?
Good, put
Do you
those
know
halflings.
them? Do you know them?
Halflings.
Do you know
Oh,
those
I
names?
have no idea who they are,
Oh,
but I couldn't
So-
do anything to stop the theft. They were long gone by the time my body animated.
oh, your body animated. So you were dead. They stole it from you. So you never saw them. Stole it from you. Hmm. Okay, and now you want the mandolin back so you can go back to sleep?
Yes, if you can return my mandolin, I will return peacefully to my grave.
I have a lute. Do you want that one instead? And be quicker.
Let me
Oh.
guess. The mandolin was one that you used pretty much since you became a bard, correct?
Yes, he says.
His musical instrument was soulbound to him, and therefore, if separated from him, he will come back from the grave.
Oh, is that how that works?
Well, that's my
Oh.
best guess anyway. I'm gonna be honest, I don't deal with all this magical nonsense.
Yes. Speaking of magic, the Stinkfoot, do you think you could do something about this stench? Oh, this is disgusting. Maybe.
I wish I could. I don't have that skill currently.
Okay. Well, nice try anyway. It was just a thought, but anyway, yeah, sure.
You do
Where?
notice that in the middle of his chest is a rather large gaping hole.
Ooh.
The,
Yeah, by the way, just how did you die?
yeah, I was
Brody?
gonna ask that. Yeah.
Well, it was a crisp autumn day. I, of course, was an adventurer. And unfortunately, this crisp autumn day, myself and my companions were set upon by manticores on this lonely stretch of road. I was killed by a manticore's tail spike. He looks down at the hole in his chest.
When you were alive, by the way, you're a legend. I've heard of you. I'm a bard too. Maybe we can do a duet later. Um, but did you have any enemies? I don't know why you would have enemies. I mean, you're really awesome, obviously. But when you were alive, did you have any enemies and people that wanted to steal your stuff? And maybe that'd be a clue on who would have done that.
I don't have any enemies. You actually do know that he was a extremely a gifted performer, and his reputation as a performer is renowned in the area. Yes, Zard, the mandolin was in tuna.
Have you heard of me? About the bar?
He kind of looks at you for a moment and kind of is like, maybe I really don't know that many auto gnome bards.
I'm standing behind buckets, gesturing. Just say yes. Just say yes.
Where's your one
Oh,
shot?
yes, yes. he says.
Of course. Everybody has. I mean, what's not to
He
love,
does.
right?
He does mention to you though. He says, "I think though that the halflings they definitely had local accents.
Oh, local German.
Perhaps someone in Toad Hop might know where you can find them."
In the meantime, may we suggest you go, maybe not jump back in, but sit by the grave, so that way the nice people can move back into their house?
And he kind of looks around the house very slowly, kind of being just more like a zombie than anything else. And he does say, "I can at least do that."
That'd be nice.
And he stands up, and you see one of his fingers fall off onto the table, and he reaches over and picks it up and puts it into his pocket.
By the way, I think you smell lovely.
Thanks. Well, with that, I think I will be leaving the room as he's parts are falling off, and I don't want to be near him. So I will step on out onto the porch and into the yard and wait for everyone to come out to go find someone who knows about halflings.
So 2 local halflings, mackerel and trout,
Yeah,
like
mackerel and
mackerel like the
trout.
fish, whatever. Okay, yeah,
Are you
mackerel
going
think
to
it's
escort him back
fishy
to the
here.
graveside?
and something fishy. Yeah. Okay. Wonder.
So are you going to escort him back to the gravesite? Okay. So as you do
Well,
so, you
sure.
see, what few villagers you encounter. Of course, they're all, kind of shy back away, and then of course you see them all, saying, "Oh, poor Frody," because obviously this town, this little village, is, they're full of love for Frody, and they just don't know what's going on. And he kind of shambles behind you, and a couple of you perhaps maybe behind him. And make it back to the graveyard. He does just go over and plops down on his tombstone.
See? That's nice.
And as he does that, I kind of speak up and I assure everyone, all is safe here. All is safe. Frody is back at his grave. Temporary animation here. We're not sure what's going on, but we're going to investigate this. All is well. Frody is going to hang out here for a while. Please don't disturb him, anyone. And he doesn't smell very good at all.
The cabin should be safe to return to.
Although
Yes.
perhaps the family may wish to wait a day or two to let it air out.
Yes, indeed.
Use the fantasy equivalent of Febreze,
And you do have to notice, as someone had asked earlier, you do notice that the grave of Frody's family is nearby. His mother was named Vina, and his sister was named Marigold. They are buried right nearby. You do see some of the villagers, of course, standing like the small little iron fence that's around the thing. You see him kind of tossing flowers in Frody's direction. And he kind of gives a very slow wave to everyone. And you see people, some of them sobbing a little bit at his state, some of them a little bit, afraid of what's going on.
I'm just going to send a horde of raccoons over to the flowers to pick them up and bring them the rest of the way to the grave and set them down around the grave.
Okay.
Oh,
We're looking for a couple halflings. If you all might be able to point us in the correct direction.
Mr. Mackerel and Mr. Trout.
Oh, yeah. One of the farmers kind of comes up. He's got a straw hat. And you see a little piece of wheat in his mouth. It's like, "Yeah, you must be talking about Mackerel Mud Bottom and Trout Bonanza. They're fairly well known in these parts. They live about 5 miles away. They got a little hut that's set on stilts next to the river."
Thank you. We're
They
not
get
saying they're suspects. We have some questions for them.
When was the last time you guys saw them?
Well, they come into town every once in a while. They catch crayfish and frogs and sell them here in the village.
They sell frogs. Okay. What time of day is it? Is it too late to go now, or is it?
No, right now it's about mid-afternoon.
Oh, okay, all right.
As I mentioned, it wasn't very very far to get to the Dart Wild cabin.
Well, we should let's go see what with these people. I think we should be on our guard, though. I mean, Frody was very nice, but I don't know about this mackerel trout couple fellas.
I'll ask general directions. I kind of have an idea which way the river is, but just kind of ask general directions which way to go as far as finding their cabin or their little place near the river.
Oh yeah, the farmer sits down, kind of kneels down in the dirt of the road itself, and kind of draws you a quick little map with directions. He said it's about 5 miles away.
Okay.
Ooh, 5 miles. That's a long distance, and I don't have a. Damn it! What did I call my donkey? Ronaldo. I don't have Ronaldo with me.
Oh well, we can go back and get our ponies. That'll make it quicker.
Once we're out of visual distance of the populace of the town towards this hut, I'll kind of look around to the rest of the party. Do you think it would be worth giving mackerel and trout a bit of a fright when we show up? And I tip my hat and turn into the visage of the decaying Frodrick.
Yes. I like it. I like it, Reginald. Very nice. Minus the stench. I appreciate that. But yes, very frightening.
I'm not sure if the hat can do smells.
No, but if we make it look like we're coming from downwind, they wouldn't smell them anyway.
Very good.
We can have a bunch of raccoons follow it.
Yes. Looking
Little
for a snack.
Little parade. Exactly.
All right.
Let's see if we can find the hut first.
I'll get the raven out ahead of us as we travel.
I will say I'm not one for lying, so if we could figure a good way to use the visage without me speaking.
Don't worry about the lies.
It would be lovely.
I think between me and Snaps, we might have the lies handled.
Lies is just a different way of telling the truth.
I'm bad at both, Bucket. I'm bad at both. But I will just retain the visage of Frodrick as we head towards this house.
Okay. Yeah, you're easily able to follow the directions from the farmer. And after a little bit of travel, maybe a couple of hours, 5 miles on your horses and ponies, you're able to make your way to what you see a lopsided wooden hut. Squats on 4 wooden stilts next to the sandy shore of a shallow river. You do see 2 halflings in overalls enjoying the day. One is next to the hut feeding a carrot to a mule, while the other stands in the middle of the river messing about with a broken crayfish trap.
Okay. All right. I think we should stealth up, guys, as we're going in. And give Reginald a chance to do his thing. Is there any cover nearby that we can hide in?
Clarification: what would you like me to do as this Frodrick? Do you want me to just start shambling from the bushes towards their house?
Well, Snaps, this man was a bard.
Yeah.
I think if we play up the dramaticism of this, it might sell it just a little bit more. I'm
gonna take my not mandolin. I have a lute, and I'm gonna lend it to him. So just play. I mean, it's easy. It always plays by itself almost.
And if it doesn't sound good, well, then it just fits the theme.
That's right.
Well, I will take the lute and attempt to play music.
Before you do, Salvatore is going to ask for just a little bit of lead up time.
Yes.
Okay.
They have no clue that you're even there. You just see them going about their normal day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna approach you. I'm gonna say, well, remember, I believe in you, not because you're awesome, but because I don't have much other choice, and I'm gonna give you a bardic inspiration.
I love your
Nice.
reasoning. What die is that?
It's a D8.
A D8? Okay.
Yeah.
DM, could I get the Raven to mimic a mandolin?
Sure.
I'm gonna cast invisibility on Skeg and have Skeg follow our friend Reginald, mimicking mandolin sounds, good and bad.
Okay.
And before
And
we go, I lean over. Salvatore, what is your idea? How do you think we could help with this subterfuge?
You have a dark cloak, right?
Of course, yes.
We can act as Grim Reapers,
Ah,
coming to collect.
okay.
I will get the one in the water. Because a taller being than a halfling rising out of the water in front of them. I don't know about you, but I might shit my pants if something large walked out of the water in front of me.
That would be a scary sight indeed.
And then you can
Wow.
handle the one with the mule.
Why are we trying to scare these people? By the way, I think I missed that plan.
Well, they stole the mandolin, so we're
We
trying
stole
to
the mandolin.
surprise them.
Okay,
Surprise
I got
them
it.
into
I got
know,
it.
Come
Okay.
revealing
And
it,
also
making a
because-
mistake.
Drama!
Drama.
Haven't you
Yeah.
seen Scooby Doo?
Yeah, we like
Right.
to make an entrance.
this
Then
is
hunt the
this
ghost.
is a bard quest. We might as well dramatic things up a bit.
Yes, makes for a nice tale.
Well, I will
Look,
wait.
Salvatore doesn't have to kill people all the time. He can just scare the shit out of them.
I will wait for my cue. I'm guessing when the bird starts making music noises to start shambling out and attempt to play this lute.
Okay, so
So-
before that happens, everyone else go ahead and give me everyone give me a group stealth check, save for Reginald.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Oh, that's a group
Oops.
check.
okay.
I'm gonna throw
and
inspiration on mine.
I stepped on a
Okay.
twig. Oh,
Thank goodness.
wow.
Good,
Goodness.
good use of inspiration. Look at that.
Yes.
Look at that.
Nice. Yes, this is a really good group stealth check. Everyone kind of back a little bit. You have Skeg on Reginald's shoulder, mimicking the mandolin. Go ahead and give me a performance check with advantage, if you would, please, Reginald.
Sure.
Forget your D8.
Just
go.
because I want to see this work, I'm going to raccoon myself with a guidance for an extra 2.
Okay.
It's got
Cool.
guidance, inspiration, body
Just
inspiration.
the whole gambit. So
You
here's
can't fail.
my D8 for another 2, so we have a +4. And then you said
Yeah.
performance.
Yes.
With
With
advantage.
advantage, a natural 20. Very nice.
Yeah.
Which brings that up to a, 23?
Yeah.
23. That's the
Maybe
best
you are.
charisma check I think Reginald has ever
Wow.
made.
And prime time, too, right when you need it the most. And then what is the signal for Salvatore and Snaps to kind of come out?
Well, what is it, Salvatore? Did we establish that?
Basically, as soon as he started playing, we would slowly start appearing as if we were like beings that were
Coming
being summoned by the
up.
undead.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right.
kind of
Yeah.
rise.
So
Right.
like I would have slipped into the water and very quietly made my way through the stream.
Yeah.
Slipped underneath, basically as I saw him get closer, counted to like 10 or something, and then just slowly stood up and just kept like growing in size because I'm standing to a full 6'4" height
Yeah.
over a
And-
halfling.
Yeah, and of course the river is fairly shallow. The halfling is kind of wading in there up to about their waist, so it's got the water's probably going to come up to around your knees or so. And with Reginald's performance starts coming through, you making any noise, Reginald? Like, are you singing or just making groaning sounds?
I'm making groaning noises. Undead just.
Okay, so the first thing that you notice is you start playing the music. You see the halfling that's near the mule kind of stop and starts kind of looking around and yells. You hear him little high pitched whistle, and you see the halfling out in the river kind of looks around and looks back and sees Salvatore coming up out of the water, and he lets out a yelp like you've never heard, and kind of like starts splashing back towards the the shore, and the other one kind of like jumps up away from the mule, kind of puts himself in between them, puts the mule in between himself and Reginald, as Reginald's coming forward. And then kind of seeing snaps pop up, they all you're kind of coming around the outside of them, you kind of back them all together where their backs to one another, and you can just see them starting to tremble a little bit with fright, obviously going pale. The halfling that got out of the river, he's not the only one with wet pants now. As the one that was feeding the mule, you can definitely see some wet spots growing around his lower area. And they're like, oh, he's come back to haunt us.
As I get closer, I start moaning about you stole from me.
We were paid to.
You are muted.
You're muted.
I was eating. I didn't want to fucking have it come up
Sorry,
on microphone.
Oh.
You're good.
They kind of fall down to their knees, like kind of trembling with their hands up and stuff, like going, "We were paid to. We were paid to. We really didn't know nothing was going to happen. This grave robber would waken undead."
Tell us who, and you may live to see your next dawn.
There's a guy named Scythian.
Scythian?
Scythian Scalderang. He's got the golden axe.
Do I know who that is?
Actually, I haven't heard the name of that person before. Actually, go ahead and give me a history check.
I'm gonna use my DM's inspiration on this one. Fuck it.
All right.
Bless you for putting the name in chat.
15.
Nice. You heard of something about Scalderang, actually around the outskirts of Waterdeep. Of course, outside of Waterdeep, there's the scattered farms around the city itself, outside the walls. And you do know that there was an olive farm that the Scalderang family had at one time.
Do I think these guys are telling me the truth?
You don't even have to make an insight check. They are completely and totally, utterly frightened and terrified.
Oh, good.
We
Okay.
used to pick olives at the orchard until all of his trees suddenly died.
Now you're grave diggers?
Oh no, we just catch and sell crayfish and frogs.
But
We
you-
do every once in a while do stuff for Scythian.
So you dug a grave and then you stole stuff from the corpse.
They kind of stop for a moment and kind of look around and seeing the alder gnome come out to talk with them. Like, wait, what's going on here? Kind of looking around.
Whoops, sorry. I didn't realize we're still in the.
What's going on here is that you're giving us information. And by giving us information, I don't have to make sure that you're buried 6 feet under. Comprende?
They're like, wait a second, you ain't no soul stealing Grim Reaper.
I never said I was.
And they kind of
I take my hood off, and I take my hood off, and I pull out my blades, and I said, "I am."
They kind of stand up a little bit. But you can definitely see that they're not as trembling, but they're still kind of frightened. They're like, look, we don't want no trouble. We don't want no trouble.
It's a little late for that.
We just help Scythian with some occasional chores, and he gives us a little bit of money.
How much did he pay you?
He gave us 20 gold pieces.
Oh,
You robbed a grave for 20 gold pieces?
wow. How low can you go?
Okay.
Why do they want the mandolin? Scythian, why does he even want a mandolin?
Well,
You know?
he plans to give that what's it called, a golden axe, to one of his students.
Okay.
Who is this Scythian guy? What does he do?
Well, he used to have an olive orchard, but all of his trees died. We suspect it was poison somehow, but not really sure what happened. But he's since opened up a music school, a little conservatory.
Oh,
He's plagued
Yeah.
by debt collectors. To help pay off his debts, he turned his mansion into a conservatory where young musicians from wealthy families can hone their craft.
oh, he sounds like a lovely fella. But he paid you to dig graves. Wow. And do you do everything Scythian tells you to do?
They pays us.
Wow.
And looking around, you can see that they live in it. I mean, their hut is literally a hut on stilts. You can see that there's wild carrots and mushrooms kind of growing underneath it. They're definitely not. I mean, their clothes are pretty much rags and such like that.
By the way, I think you peed yourself.
He kind of glances down and takes the straw hat off and puts it in front of his.
Wow.
Salvatore's gonna crouch in front of them, bring himself on level with these halflings. All right. I have two very important questions for you. What exactly is your skill set? Answer that one first. What can you do? Besides grave robbing, and you're shit at that, so don't add that.
We're just trappers. We just hunt frogs and crayfish. And live out here by the river.
Okay. Do you think you could turn that into hunting people? Tracking people down?
They kind of like put a weird look on their face like, we ain't no trackers.
But could you do it?
Why?
Because I've got honest work for honest pay.
They
But it
kind of
ain't gonna
look-
be for animals.
Now, are you still in your visage, Otter?
Well, I mean, he's
Alright,
just in his cloak of elven kind, right? So
Reginald's still look like
Reginald.
Oh, I
The
am
Grim
just
Reaper.
I am standing behind the party right now, just staring at them. I'm not sure what to do because things kind of devolved a little bit. So I'm still standing there looking like Frodrick, but just standing there staring at them.
and Bucket apologized for that.
They said-
Deviate the plan.
look, we'll tell you whatever you want, but we don't want nothing more to do with this. And you see one of them kind of reach over and pulls out his little pouch of 20 gold and kind of throws it at your feet and says, we just want out.
Okay, well, now we got 20 gold. What if we pay him 20 gold to go steal the mandolin back?
I ain't going back there.
keep your 20 gold. Use it to clean yourselves up. You are going to go to this address in Waterdeep. You are going to tell them that you were sent by Salvatore. And you will be given work. And he jots down an address on a piece of parchment and hands it to them.
I try to grab the 20 gold before he does.
Was it thrown at my feet?
You just toss it on the ground.
Yeah, you told him to get it back, right? So I'm assuming he goes for it. So I'd like to jump ahead of him and get
No,
it.
you can totally pick it up. It's not a problem. They're like, look, we just want to be left alone here in our hut, and that's about it.
Okay, well, we have questions for you first.
What more questions do we need? We know who has the mandolin.
Well,
We
no,
know
this-
why they did it. They're poor.
Okay.
They're shit at doing it.
Well, yeah. But where does this Scythian live?
Just outside. I know where he lives. He's
Okay.
outside Waterdeep.
They
Um,
say,
I know
well,
where that olive farm is.
they say, well, we don't have a map or nothing, but if you want to take a second, we can maybe show you a version of what the place looks like.
That'd be great. I mean, unless you know what this place looks like, Salvatore.
I just know where it is.
Oh,
You
well,
have to. Some of this, when you're in my line of work, knowing where things are is a little bit more important than knowing what the place looks like.
Well, knowing how to get in would be useful. I'm just saying.
There's no place that I can't break into.
Oh,
Or at least I
And-
haven't found it yet.
They will
Well, I can
spend-
break into anything. It's the coming out that's hard.
They will spend a few minutes. You do see them get down kind of on the sandy shore. They kind of build you a little sandcastle representation of what the conservatory, the former manor house, now a conservatory, looks like. So here is that handout for everyone.
Oh wow, there's a Sandcastle handout.
Ooh.
Nice, look at that. Wow. I get an idea. We get close and we throw fireballs inside the windows.
Fireballs. Uh-oh. Stinkfoot. You have a fan.
I'm in.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Well, it's just an idea. I mean, it's food for thought.
It's, you know what? It's an idea, and I'm gonna ask you to keep pitching ideas because I don't think that's a good one to start with.
Oh goodness! And on that note, it is almost
What about dynamite?
it is almost halfway through the stream. So we're going to go ahead and take a small little break. Viewers, if you want to stretch your legs, grab some drinks, grab some snacks, perhaps use the restroom as such, we'll take a small little break and we will come back very shortly. Does that sound all right for everyone?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
That's good.
We'll see you in a bit. right, welcome back, everyone. Thanks for sticking around to see the conclusion of part 1 today. Yeah, I was asking questions of everyone that's in chat there, what their favorite modules or adventures were, whether it be from Wizard of the Coast when they picked up D&D, or whether it was from before with TSR. We've got a mention for some of the older stuff. Of course, yes, Zard, I'm the same way. I do have a lot of the older stuff. Something about the 5th edition version of Curse of Strahd, though, is just insane.
I haven't had a chance to try out Curse of Strahd. The only module I've gone all to completion was Descent into Avernus, and that was a good time. And a little bit of Wild Beyond the Witchlight, which was a very big change from Descent into Avernus.
Very big change, especially considering you could pretty much, until you, I'm not going to give away spoilers, get towards the end, there's lots of different ways. It was one of the first adventures they came out with where there were lots of different ways to resolve encounters besides just
you can do the entire campaign with no combat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm running it. I'm running 2 campaigns now. I'm running it as a DM. It's probably one of my favorites. That and Icewind Dale in recent years. Those are my 2 favorites.
Itching.
Squats. That's a good one too. Yes, definitely.
I'm itching something fierce to dig my teeth into the Dragonlance module that came out.
I'm pretty close to the end. I've got a campaign on. I run for a client game on Tuesdays. We're going to be off, obviously, because of the 4th of July. So for those of you here in the States, make sure to have a safe 4th of July, of course. But yeah, we're really close to the end of the Dragonlance hardcover.
I like Curse of Strahd too.
Right.
I'm going to make a lot of enemies here. I'm going to make a lot of enemies here, but I do not like Curse of Strahd. At least the new edition, anyway.
Oh, no,
Curse of
that's okay.
Strahd became better when they released Van Richten,
Oh yeah.
because you get to expand Barovia beyond Barovia.
Yeah. I love the Guide to Ravenloft. I love that book and all that.
And I'm doing that with a group where I'm taking them through. We're going to each of these dark worlds. Some I've created, some are from the book, and it'll culminate with me upping the difficulty level when they get to Barovia to fight Strahd as the level 20 boss that he should be.
There's actually a level 29, a CR 29 version of Strahd.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I might use that.
Oh
Which is,
boy.
Actually, there's actually also obviously you don't have to run them as Adventurers League adventures, but they did. We did have a few years back, 2 years I think, 2 summers ago. We did a when Von Richten's came out. There was a limited campaign for Adventurers League that was called the Mist Hunters, where they jump from the different domains of dread in each adventure, which is really got some really good stuff in there. So yeah, and Angelus, you had never played a module before until you were on the stream here. That's pretty cool. Mostly just homebrew,
cool.
then, I guess. Yeah.
I think my first module I ever played, like ran as a DM all the way through, was Princes of the Apocalypse.
That's a really
And it
fun
was
one.
arguably one of the worst experiences of my life.
Running as a DM or
Yeah.
just playing as a player? Oh, really?
Just running it as a DM. Like it was the worst. It was every dungeon was the same. Variations of enemies, but the dungeon was the same. The layout was almost identical. Oh, I'm in a fire one, so everything's resistant to fire. I'm in water, so everything's resistant to cold. Like there was no variety. And then by the time they get to the air temple, they've already blasted through the other 3, and this is a joke. It was awful.
The Fire Nation attacked.
Prince of the Apocalypse was one of my worst experiences, but Curse of Strahd and Descent into Avernus might have actually been my favorites. Mostly because Descent into Avernus, you go in and you tell your players, this is gonna suck. This module is not designed for you to really have fun. But
That
you're
would be-
going to have fun because you are going to figure out ways to circumvent how this module is laid out.
That's pretty much the intro you gave me when you brought me on as a player was
Everything is going
This-
to suck.
this is going to be awful, but you're going to have a great time.
When I launch people into Curse Estrada as their first module, the thing that I tell them is everything in this land is awful. There is no comedic relief. There is no hilarity. The comedic relief comes from the party. Understand that everybody is going to hate you. That does not mean that I, as the DM, hate you. Good luck.
That's
Awesome,
when you
awesome.
make it a character goal to befriend as many people as possible.
If they have souls, of course, in Barovia. You know, they
Yes.
might be people without souls. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get back to our module. We have two frightened halflings on the banks of a river outside of their hut.
They
They've been
peed
scared
themselves.
by a apparent resurgence of the zombie that they grave robbed from, and they have given you a kind of sandcastles that they built of the conservatory itself. Of course, having thoroughly frightened them, you have definitely earned their cooperation. And they will first begin telling you about the conservatory as they're kind of constructing the sandcastle. And they kind of start talking. It's like, well, the conservatory has 4 floors, counting the roof. The outer doors, that is the double doors in front and back door, leads to the kitchen. They're good sturdy oak and barrel, good sturdy oak doors with iron bindings, and they're barred shut at night. And all the windows latch shut from the inside. And one of the guys says,
Okay.
we might have checked.
Okay.
There is skylights on the roof. You can see the 3rd floor room that holds Scythian's fancy instruments. One of the reasons why he was wanting to get the golden axe to give to Wiley Van Timmel, one of his pupils. The Van Timmels are filthy rich, and Scythian thinks that their financial support is worth more than the mandolin itself, which is the purpose of him wanting the mandolin to gift to one of his students. They do mention that Scythian's quarters are somewhere on the 3rd floor. Because of losing the olive orchard and kind of losing their income, he did have to let go of most of his staff. He still has a cook and a housekeeper that he still has on staff. And they sleep next to the kitchen on the ground floor.
Do they have names?
Pardon?
Do they have names?
Yes, they do. Give me one moment here.
Mr. Cook and Mr. Housekeeper.
The cook's name, let me find that there. There we go. The cook's name is Merle.
Merle.
He is a dwarf. And the housekeeper's name, his name is Vordel. He is a human.
Merle. Okay, dwarf and okay. And you also said the doors are locked at night and all that. What time is that? Like, what time do they actually lock the doors of the castle? And what time do they open them in the morning? Like, what time, I guess, what are the opening hours? I guess
Well,
it'd be,
it's not really necessarily open to the public or what. Obviously, Scythian is always looking for more students, any sort of income that he can come in. They do mention, Mackerel Trout do share that the breakfast is served in the dining hall every morning at 8 a.m.
yeah.
And then,
Where-
go ahead.
Where do the students stay?
The students stay on the 2nd floor.
Okay.
Right
guard.
above the dining hall, there's the ceiling is open up, and there is like a balcony that goes around the outside there on the 2nd floor, and the students' rooms are up
See
there.
that. All right.
You,
And
But there are no guards. No guards, no people that are armed.
Cool.
No, it's just
that we
it's a
know of?
conservatory. It's a school conservatory.
Okay, good.
If
All
we're
right.
looking through where you see on the sandcastle where the skylights are there on the roof,
Mhm.
underneath that is where at 9 a.m. is where Scythian will supervise rehearsals for
Those
the
rehearsals.
students. Of course, at noon is when lunch is served in the dining hall as well.
So, two quick questions for them. Are there any alarms? Do you know if there's a security system?
Not that they know of.
Hmm. Okay. And I forgot my second question.
They do mention that there are some staircases between all the floors in the towers. That's where the staircases are in the towers. But there's
Okay.
also an elevator powered by magic that
Ooh.
runs between the dining hall and the second and third floors.
I hate stairs. They're always up to something. No, get
I hate elevators. They're always bringing me down.
it. Oh,
I don't know what an elevator is.
it's like a moving room. It goes up and down. It's great. It's great.
You may
Good
have
letter.
heard it called a lift, like in construction, they call it a lift.
Ah,
To lift a platform up.
why not just call it
Yeah.
a lift?
Yeah, I don't know. Fancy names for fancy
Not
people, I
fancy
suppose.
enough.
I have no use for it.
Nobles.
Do the halflings have any advice for us if we were to maybe pass off our rolling trash can friend as a potential student to get in the door?
I have legs.
Possibly that might work. They say, thing is, Scythian's a tiefling with blue skin and black horns. He's not the most likable person. He rains on everyone's parade. His folks must have never taught him how to be nice. So when he tries, he mucks it up. He's always unhappy and never has anything nice to say.
Hmm.
I got no idea why a rich guy like that would got to be unhappy about.
Maybe he's misunderstood.
He does
So
wear a
if
master
you-
key around his neck that unlocks all the doors inside the conservatory.
Anybody
Fort
else
Ella
has that key? Or?
has
Well, that
another
sounds interesting.
Yeah, that sounds like a clue. So hypothetically, if you were to break in, just how would you do it? Which area sounds the best? I'm thinking skylight here, but what would you guys do?
I
Well,
don't
the
know.
skylight is a good idea, but unless you did want to pose as something to try to get in the door that way, and then open the door at night, as they are locked.
Well, I can go. Okay, so if there's no alarm system or that they know of, I can go in during the day, turn invisible, and then at night I'll open the doors for you guys. I can do that.
That's one possibility.
There's a possibility.
It's
He
better
does,
than fireballs.
Well, keep in mind, I will remind you that
Maybe
they
no.
do say that he has 4 students between the ages of 13 and 17.
Wow, they're pretty old. I'm 5.
And they do also say one more thing: Scythian is terrified of frogs and toads. Has been ever since he was swallowed by a giant toad as a young boy.
Who wouldn't?
Oh, frogs and toads. So bring frogs and toads, and then someone made a suggestion to take the go and get the undead bard and bring him back to the conservatory and threaten to leave him there unless they give the mandolin back.
Yeah. And so, where can we get frogs? Do you guys have frogs?
Oh, you can find frogs all around this huddled near the river.
Oh. Can I give you 2 gold and you go get me a couple of frogs?
I guess.
I'm gonna take his 2 gold and give it back to him.
You see Trout kind of turn to Macklin and goes, "Did you tell him about his friend?" Mackerel's like, wait, oh yeah. One of Scythian's friends staying at the castle too. Some tall, handsome tiefling chap named Joster Marit, something like that.
What is it? Jester?
Typed it there in chat for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got red skin, yellow horns, and a kind of a smoky voice. Doesn't do much except hang around the estate, although sometimes he paints portraits of the students. Kind of showed up just shortly after the orchard died, and kind of encouraged Scythian to open up his home to gifted musicians.
Okay.
Tell you what, though, we did catch Joster chatting with this little green skin creature. Thing turned invisible and instant saw us. He pretended like that creature wasn't there, but we saw it all right.
What type
Did it
of
have
creature?
wings? Did it have
Don't
wings?
think it had wings,
Okay.
but it kind of looked like this, and they describe this to you.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
Why, yes, we are in the adventure that is on the hardcover.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, he pretended like it wasn't there, but we saw it all right.
Okay.
Good to know. So about the question I asked about how would they sneak in if they were to do it? Do they have any answers for that? Or?
They really don't look as if they were the type that would break into the be skilled enough to break into the house. They're probably just hired as grave diggers of the grave robbers just because it wasn't something they could bumble.
Yeah. Okay. Show me how you catch frogs, and I'll go help them.
Sure. Yeah, if anyone wants to help out, feel free to do so. You can spend a few minutes walking around the shoreline, and go ahead and give me a survival check. You can have advantage with it, Bucket, since they're helping you out and showing you how to do it.
Okay. Would you say nature or survival?
Survival, yes, please.
Okay. 13 and 13. So I guess it's 13.
That is your DC is a 13. You do happen to notice that right in your vicinity, you do see a frog nearby if you want to try to grab it.
Yeah, I will.
Give me an athletics check. I'm sorry, acrobatics check.
Acrobatics check.
Oh, no, it splashed away. You kind of tumble
slippery.
down face first right into the water of the river.
Oh, I almost had it. I had by the tail. Frogs don't
Here's,
have
of course,
tails.
the rest of you hear a big splash as Bucket is walking around trying to pick up frogs.
So Bucket, Mackerel, and Trout have all gone to get frogs. The rest of us are
No,
kind of...
Mackerel's helping him out,
Okay.
helping Bucket out. Trout's still there if you have other questions.
Snaps was also trying to catch one. He was unsuccessful, apparently. Looks like.
We're really
was trying
good at this.
Yeah, but Snaps was not able to locate any frogs.
Okay. I just don't see any.
They're slippery little buggers.
I guess
Okay.
I'm going to lean slowly down towards Trout, who is still with us.
He will kind of back away. And let me make a check here quick. You see him kind of look sideways at you as you're kind of leaning forward a little bit, and you get the feeling that he might kind of see through and get that the disguise is not your more visage is magic than anything else.
Oh, thank goodness. It is really frustrating to move that slow. Hi, Trout. How's it going?
He kind of looks at you kind of sideways a little bit. It's like, I've had better days.
He looks at his pants.
Keeps glancing over kind of at Salvatore, then kind of glancing back at the shore at Snaps, who pulled out the daggers.
What else can you tell us about the schedule at the conservatory?
Well, students rehearse from 9 to noon, and of course they serve lunch. Then usually about 1, courier usually will drop off Scythian's mail, which I think he reads up in his study, which is on the 3rd floor. Of course, the students will be relaxing in the gallery around that time period.
How easy is any of this to climb from the outside?
It looks like it would be fairly simple to climb. Obviously,
Hmm.
if you were there in person, you might get a better judgment of it. It definitely doesn't look difficult.
Because well, you wouldn't know if you just delivered this mandolin. You wouldn't know. By the way, you're not gonna repeat anything we say here, right? Because we'll come back and we'll send those zombies after you.
I'm sorry, that cut out a little bit. What was that again?
I'm telling them that they're not gonna tell on us. You know, they're
Oh
not gonna
no,
repeat anything. You know.
you scared
Yeah.
the life out of them. They're not going to be
Okay.
talking or doing nothing.
So do you know? Do you know where? But you just delivered that mandolin, but you wouldn't happen to know where he keeps it, right? Like, does he keep it on the 3rd floor there where you said all the other instruments are? Or because that one is so special, he keeps it somewhere else?
When we turned it over, I don't know where he put it, but he's got a lot of expensive instruments up there. Why he doesn't sell them, I don't know. That'd take care of all of his problems. All of them debt collectors coming after him all the time.
Hmm.
Is there anything on the schedule after the mail?
Well, they usually serve dinner about 5 bells. And after that, the students practice their music unsupervised, either in their quarters or in the music hall. I think Scythian goes upstairs to his study and returns, writes letters up there to back for all the mail he gets.
And then is that it for the evening? Do they retire after that?
Well, Scythian and Joster and the students usually gather in a dining hall around 9 bells, tell stories, share city gossip, snack, and discuss music theory. But then, usually about midnight, they all retire to their quarters. Of course, the servants will tidy up.
So at midnight, all would be quiet within the conservatory?
Until at least until Merle and Vordell finish cleaning up and they retire.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, there's a couple of clues in here. First of all, this sounds like my place. I mean, they talk music, they tell stories. Like, wow, maybe I should live there. Um, but I wonder if I could be a student. And I'm just thinking about an idea here. Like, if I'm on the inside, I need somebody on the inside. It doesn't have to be me.
Well, I think you would be the best one to be inside, since you're already a musician. That already, perhaps you could be our contact inside, and then open the doors for us if need be.
You said that they don't. Do they accept new students? Do they? Or
Well,
maybe employees. Maybe we can be a
he's always
new
looking.
cook. Or...
They do mention that if you're applying to be a student, they will require you to perform. Scythian will require you to perform for him.
Got it. Of course, that's an audition.
With
Maybe that's why he's
with
broke.
some gold in your pouch, of course, jingling while you play.
Yeah.
Do you know of
then-
anyone on the grounds who would have keys to the place?
Well, other than Scythian carrying the one that he's got, Vordell has a master key too.
Vordell was who the house.
That's the housekeeper.
Mhm.
The human housekeeper. But they live on the premises, right? I mean, we could capture. How about we capture Vordell, and then we disguise self, and then pretend to be Vordell, and then walk around. That sounds like a better, not as fun as applying as a student, but a better strategy.
Reginald is really good at pretending to be other people.
I can
That
disguise
might be a
myself.
great idea.
Yeah, I can also disguise. I can turn invisible, like guys. So we can
Don't you
disguise
put
somebody,
that on me.
and I can turn invisible, and yeah, I think we have a. And if all hell breaks loose, we have fireballs.
Fireballs.
Zardel says,
I'm here for it.
That's a last resort.
Zardel says, challenge him to a fiddle playing contest in the village of Georgia.
Oh, there you go.
Do we know anything about the students currently at the conservatory?
Well, currently, he has 4 students. They all reside at the conservatory, but their families have grand estates in Waterdeep. Wiley plays strings and has a beautiful singing voice, which is the Wiley Van Timmel that he was speaking of. She's attending her father's birthday party and won't be back for a couple of days. That leaves Embry, a talented composer and horn player. Let me go ahead and put these in the chat for you.
Thank you.
No problem. That leaves Embry, a talented composer and horn player. There's also Mazia, who plays the flute.
I play flute.
And Mitchell, who plays the drums and the harpsichord.
I'm not a good drummer.
Classic.
No, I'm not changing my name, my spelling of my name to that.
Do it.
Although it does make sense, there's Y's in place of I's and such in Forgotten Realms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
They
Yeah,
use
that fits.
all the students are good natured and kind.
Okay.
I worry about. I don't know about you guys, but I worry about this. What is his name there? The guy's companion.
The
Jester.
Jester.
Yeah, I worry about this Jester guy. He sounds. I don't know. You said he doesn't do anything. He just walks around and chat, and he just showed up after everybody, the orchard died, the olive garden.
And he says sometimes he paints portraits of the students.
That's not creepy at all.
No, not at all.
Getting
Maybe we
some
kill him first.
And
getting
they did
some
mention that
weird vibes on that guy.
Maybe we
yeah,
kill
they
him
did mention
first.
Joster was the one that encouraged Scythian to open up his home to get to musicians.
You wouldn't know what he's afraid of, right? The other guy's afraid of Toad. Is he afraid of?
They don't know much about Joster.
Okay, except that he talked to a green individual, a green creature.
Yeah.
Does
That
any
he
of you
says
have-
doesn't exist.
Yeah. Does anybody have minor image or major image?
So he
out
Joster
of
pretended
character?
like it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
No.
Well,
Oh, you do?
I do.
those are the questions I had. I'm gonna go try and catch some frogs.
So we can at least get rid of or handle. I mean, Scythian? Yeah, Scythian. With image of frogs attacking him or something, or that would freak him out. But it's the
Yes.
other guy that I worry about.
What
And
do
I
I
don't
have
believe
to?
it-
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, what do
Well-
I have to roll to try and find and catch frogs? It was survival.
Oh yeah. Go ahead and give me a survival check first.
Sure.
You have to roll the natural 20.
Just because I'm being cautious, I'm going to use the raccoons.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, you are able to find a couple of frogs right near the bank.
Okay. I'm going to do the same thing to catch them. Hiya, another 2. And it was acrobatics.
Correct. Nice. You're able to catch one of them.
I got a frog.
Wow, you're really good at this.
It's the raccoons. They're quick.
If you want, you can try to catch the other one that you saw there.
Sure. Is that another acrobatics?
Yep.
Well, do the same thing. That's a +3. Nope, that one gets away.
That one does get away. Yes,
Oh.
indeed.
I got one frog.
Okay, one frog and one minor image or major image or whatever. I think we can handle. What's his name? Scythian.
An undead bard holding a frog walks through the front door.
With a frog.
All right.
And raccoons.
So that brings us back around to what do you think about Bucket going in as a prospective student, or the other suggestion there is
Before you continue on,
Yes.
Snaps, my apologies.
ahead.
Pretty much you kind of talk with Mackerel and Trout. They're able to go through, especially with the couple of gold pieces that Bucket gave them, and they're able to gather up 4 extra frogs for you as well.
Nice.
They really don't have much else to lend to you other than the information that they've given you. Of course, you have the sandcastle as well. So if you're ready to start your planning, you
Okay.
can go ahead and make your way back to Waterdeep. Obviously, you fairly easily make it back by nightfall to the Troll Skull Manor, and can start actually discussing your plans and such like that in the privacy of the manor.
I was just
So,
about to say the same thing. Of if we're not sure if we have any more questions for these fellows, I'm sure they probably don't want to be part of the planning process if they don't want anything to do with this anymore.
you do see when you're starting to make your way back, from their place back to Waterdeep, from Salvatore, you do see them kind of glancing at the parchment you gave them with the address on it.
Well, Snaps
Yeah,
has
yeah,
many
yeah.
different questions, especially as far as what they do all day. What they have. Are they eating frogs? Are only frogs? Do they eat fish? What else do they have? What do they do besides going and stealing mandolins and other instruments? But of course, after that, it kind of gets the look from probably Stinkfoot or Reginald that he should probably shut up, and decides to step away from the halflings and put his daggers back.
So yes, you're able to gather all of that information. You have the handout of how the sandcastle kind of looks from the outside, and with the information. So you're back in Waterdeep. You're at the Troll Skull Manor up in the attic where you normally plan your heists. Let me bring everyone over to the Waterdeep map.
Mm-hmm. I
Uh,
make sure once we leave their hut to revert my image so I don't upset the villagers and or the people of Waterdeep when we get back.
No, what I can
Where's your
picture is what I can picture is is Frodrick, like on his side we just left him there. He's on his grave waiting, He's just,
he's just sitting there.
just sitting there singing.
And then another
Not creepy at
Frodrick
all.
walks by with the party.
Yeah, not creepy at all.
Troll Skull Alley, of course, is up there in Waterdeep, and then you are kind of familiar where the Scaldering Conservatory is, which is down here.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, hold this map now.
So it gives you an idea of distance from where your headquarters are, and with your information, feel free now to start planning your heist, throwing out different ideas. We've had one idea of Bucket going in to try to become a student, perhaps even giving you a chance to have somebody inside for the evening. You've mentioned, I know that Salvatore mentioned scaling the outside to maybe try to find a way to get in from the outside that way. You're also mentioning the skylights as well. So feel free to discuss.
So there's
Okay,
also the possibility of getting a hold of the cook or the actually the housekeeper with the key, and then disguising ourselves as the housekeeper. That would be another option, because I think the housekeeper is really it's a good idea because he has a master key.
We might not even need to incapacitate the housekeeper so much as lift the key.
now
That
you're
too.
talking.
That too. So I should scratch that first idea with the fireballs, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Unanimous.
Unanimous, yes.
Okay.
Maybe as a plan like F.
B. Plan B is what you're looking for.
Okay, so
Yeah, that is
this,
Fink's normal plan 2 first is just throw fireballs.
yeah, uh, it works sometimes.
Fireballs, lightning apparently now.
Ooh, what about this idea? It was posted in chat by Design Lizard. Judges of a new event called Waterdeep Idol.
Okay, yeah, and we pretend.
We're looking
Oh,
for talent.
did he say
Talent searches, talent scouts.
talent searches? Yeah, and we look for students or whatever they have. Yeah,
Poses talent scouts for
yeah.
some type of show, a big an event that's happening in Waterdeep, and
I
we
like
could
that
even
idea. And
we
while
could
this
even
is
let
going, go ahead.
we could even put that idea out before we leave to have a few of our runners, people that are connected with the guilds or whoever, to kind of put out the word that there's going to be a new event happening. That's going to be a musical event, Waterdeep Idol, or
We could
something
also
like that.
send a letter to the conservatory ahead of time saying
Oh,
that
make it
talent
official. Yes,
scouts are going to be heading to them because they've heard
yes.
of the renown of the school.
I think he would like that because that way
Kind
you can
of.
attract, more visibility to the school.
It sounds like the dude kind of is a bit full of himself, so if we kind of lean into that by saying we heard about the talent of the school and we want to send some scouts there to look at the talent for a possible event, it might, fan that ego a little bit and get us through the door.
hmm Exactly. He
Yeah.
wants prestige and he wants money, so he's
And there's
maybe apt to open it up.
Speaking of money, you said something about tax collectors, or he owes money to people and all that. So we could pretend to be somebody, I don't know, to rough him up or to say, hey, you have to pay or whatever or something, right? So we could pretend to,
So act like a debt collector.
yeah, something
Yeah.
like that, or
Oh, okay.
just or somebody would send a message, it's like, haha,
Yeah, find out who his debtors are, and then that way, when we go, we actually would have a name to present for who we actually are, as far as trying to
if we
collect
put
on
it
that.
if we put him in
That
prison,
has
all of a
Salvatore
sudden,
all over it.
That's what.
That's a Salvatore move.
Mm-hmm. Yes, intimidation. Yeah.
yeah, so that's another idea. Because I mean, even if I worry about the whole night, like the whole typical heist, right? We break into a window or skylight and we go in and all that, and there's always alarms on these things, and I don't think, I don't think it would be a good idea. But
That is totally up to all of you.
Well, I'm all
Well,
for doing some second story work, but if we have an alternate plan, I'm up for that
the
too.
the other thing, he had a favorite student who's currently away, right?
Yes, widely.
Okay, so we could again with the whole disguise self, we can pretend to be this kid. Hey, I'm back, and because he's his favorite, I'm guessing that maybe he has more access to things. And didn't he steal the mandolin to give it to him? Is that what you
Give it to
said?
her, yeah.
Her, okay.
Unfortunately,
So
you don't know what she looks like in order to be
Don't know
able
what
to
she looks
decide.
like. Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can gain access to the grounds, we might be able to find a picture or photograph.
Well, there is pictures that that Josser does
Mhm.
paint of the
The portraits,
Yeah.
yeah.
portrait, yeah. Wow.
We find out
We
he's
take
just
all those
really.
ideas and we mash them together.
We
We have
find
a
out
plan.
he's really bad at painting, so with disguised self, it's just not even close.
It's a stick figure.
It's a Picasso-looking type thing with
Yeah,
the eye up here and the
exactly.
face.
It's like Chris Pine in the D&D movie when they
Oh
spell
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you
Yeah, we show
recognize
up
your
like that.
favorite student? Just eldritch horror looking thing walks through the front door.
Yeah.
It's me, your student.
Give me my mandolin, please. Okay. I don't know
There's quite a few ideas.
the tax collector, the whole
Anybody
tax
have anything
collector
else?
thing. Is the chat? Does
We
the
don't know
chat-
what the mandolin looks like, do we?
Well,
No,
we
you do know that it's
know-
called a golden axe.
Mhm.
And obviously, you know what a mandolin looks like.
No, if I was gonna like minor image copies of it, I would need to know exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, you'd have to know exactly what it looks like. Exactly.
I feel like a
That's
good
all.
place to start may be just gaining access to the grounds for some legwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, worst come to worst, I apply as a student. He says, "No, you stink. Get out of my house." And at least I would have seen a little bit what it looks like inside, and no harm is done. I'm out, right?
Right, and then we fireball.
That's Plan B.
We do not
don't-
try to kill the innocent people in the building.
What's
Think
wrong?
about-
You don't like my song? Goosh.
Yeah,
Are you not
exactly.
entertained?
Are you not entertained? That's perfect.
But you have to wait. Don't throw the fireball until I get back up the rope because myself and Salvatore are going to be rappelling down out of the skylight.
Yeah, and there's also the
You
whole
have to
point
be.
of like.
We have to be.
There's also the
the whole
problem of not knowing how to cast fireball, but that's who cares about
It's
that.
on the cover. We have to repel from the skylight.
That's right. It's on the cover. It's on the instruction manual. Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. Angelus says disguise self as the guy from the painting in the last adventure.
Oh.
Oh.
Stories painting.
And now that we have the overlay here redone, I can pull that up and have it nice and big for everybody. There you go. There's the painting from the last adventure.
Oh, there he is.
Oh,
Very
wait.
likable chap.
Where did it pop up? On the
It is
On the
on the
stream.
stream.
oh, on the stream. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, that almost makes me wish I was playing Aethlin. Because Aethlin's the right color to do that.
I could be the right color to do that.
You could be. We don't know. As far as we know, you're just a bunch of raccoons in a trench coat.
And we like him like that.
Sometimes that's all he is.
Nice.
So the first idea is to have Bucket perhaps go to maybe get a little bit of information, trying to pose as a student, right?
Yeah.
Was there any are there any legs to the concept of you wanting to send letters about talent scouts or anything like that, or is that kind of just something aside from fun?
I feel like that might be out of the purview of what we're knowledgeable on.
Okay.
Because he would know what to look for, and if we don't have anybody who would actually be, I don't know,
Believable?
knowledgeable of it,
Yes.
Mhm.
Snaps is
Yeah.
not knowledgeable about music.
you know, like it's just going to be an effort and futility, and it'll fail before we even get in there.
You'll see. Yeah, he'll see us coming. Yeah.
Fair enough. Go
I'm
ahead
sure-
and everyone take back your inspiration. Very good point, Salvatore.
Sure.
I'm fairly certain Buckets has failed a talent show or two. I'm sure we could get advice.
On what not to do.
Well, I feel like getting Bucket in there as a possible student from the start at least gets us in the door to check things out.
Also
Oh,
helps with the distraction if he can manage to get everybody in one area while Snaps and Salvatore are getting into the building in another way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Bucket can use Stinkfoot and Reginald as his entourage. Because you can't be a high-level bard without having an entourage.
But I pay people to serve me. Yeah.
One thing I would point out, that's a great idea. One thing I would point out is that he is looking for students. You did mention something else, however, about the debt collectors.
Yes.
If Salvatore and Snaps are trying to get in through rappelling through the skylight, and then Bucket is, acting as the, wanted to be a prospective student. You could maybe even do something with Stinkfoot and Reginald trying to be debt collectors. To kind of interrupt them as well.
2 ideas at once.
Salvatore.
Come at them from all angles. Different.
Yes.
Different.
Did he?
I could disguise self and become Joe the elf.
You have to do it. You have
What
to
a
do
deep.
it. You have to do it.
You have some interesting connections here in the city. Do you think it would be possible to get Bucket here some frilly paperwork of origin to help bolster interest for them being a student at this school?
Ooh, like getting him some patents of nobility.
Yeah.
It's not in my purview. I just need to make some.
You may know who to
connections.
contact for that.
Yeah, and this is unfortunately one of those. If I tell you how I do it, I would have to kill you.
I would
Roll
note
You
initiative.
should
just
believe
one
her.
small-
Don't do
one
it.
small thing with that. Keep in mind that Bucket is
Yeah.
an auto gnome.
Believe him.
There's
Mhm.
probably not that many
Auto gnome.
noble families from Waterdeep.
Yeah, but I can disguise myself with disguise self.
But
And I didn't say it was going to be a family from Waterdeep. It's
Yeah.
easier to make it a foreign family coming in.
It's a family
There you
from
go.
being an auto gnome, wouldn't have to be part of a family, but it could be something from a noble family.
Yeah.
That would be very unique. So I think he'd be proud to have something so unique.
Mhm.
That is
I
very
am unique.
It would help you get in the door a little easier
Yeah.
as a student if you had something flashy, frilly to show off to pique his interest.
Do we have to pay to enter that school? That's something we never asked. Is there like admission fee or something? Or I only have 10 gold.
Well, we'll find out when we get there.
We'll find out soon enough. Okay.
By the way, Bucket,
Yeah.
did you want to share what the acronym Bucket stands for the viewers?
Brainless, universal, charging kiosk, and eco-friendly trash can.
I'll post that in chat for everyone.
I put it on Discord
Hello.
earlier.
For those of you who think I was being mean calling him our trash can.
That's literally the last letter of his name.
And you
So,
can always roll him. Roll him down the hill.
General in, yeah.
You can always roll it.
If
do
you
have,
strap enough pots and pans to him beforehand, he'll make music as he goes.
A musical
One-man
box.
band.
What was that
So
idea?
you have kind of an idea, a rough idea. So what is the plan once Bucket gets inside the door?
I guess act as a student for a little bit, to, I don't know, for a couple of days or whatever, to get the lay of the land and see what's happening. Like if I'm really a student, then I can act as a student and look at the schedule, what they do, who goes where not to go. I'm a new student, right? So I might show up on the wrong floor and, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that would be an idea.
If we're looking at the information we received, the mandolin is going to his favorite student, who is out of
who's away.
town for a couple days still.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit of leeway to scout before we actually have to act. So
And also when that student has that mandolin, she might not, secure it as well as
Mhm.
as as this guy does right now.
But we have a
Sitting
rare
there.
opportunity from our usual jobs of having a little bit of time to facilitate this grab,
To
if you
try, like,
will.
Good point. Good point. Yes.
try a
Would
few
note
ideas.
though that Wiley, her family is filthy rich. So she probably does not travel without some sort of, as you mentioned with Bucket earlier, an entourage that's probably
Yeah.
protecting her
Yep.
from kidnappings, things like that for ransoms and stuff like that. So it might even be more secure once he passes that over to Wiley.
Yeah, we probably
And
want
I
to
think we
grab
need
it.
to find out some information about this student.
Mhm.
Because it's quite possible that she could be sympathetic to the plight of someone whose musical instrument was stolen. But
From a
then again,
dead
she could
body.
also be a spoiled little shit. So,
You gotta give her the benefit of the doubt.
no, I don't.
My brain immediately goes to Violet Beauregard.
Let's bring the undead guy back. I want
I
my
want it
instrument back.
now.
Let's bring my.
So
I want
then,
my-
with Bucket being inside, what would you like Stinkfoot and Reginald to do then? Actually, let's go ahead and go back to Snaps and to Salvatore. What are you going to do? You know that the skylights from the roof lead down into the area where they actually do organized rehearsals.
So my idea with that would be whenever there's an appropriate signal at the appropriate time, and that the appropriate, whenever it's safe to do so, I was thinking, either go through that second story doorway if we're able to get in there, or if we go check that out at least as one possible route, and then in addition to going to the skylight itself and seeing if we can open the window or get through the glass somehow without causing a disruption, and then look down and see if there is anything down there, and if there are the special instruments, all the rare instruments are there, at least go down and check it out, and then have an escape route either out that side door or back up, which is harder, but we could do that. That's just my thoughts. What do you think, Salvatore?
I don't hate the idea. I want to find his office. If he's going to keep something he's going to give to his favorite student, it's going to be kept in his office.
Locked
Somewhere where that he
somewhere.
can keep it locked with lock and
Yeah.
key. And we
Yeah.
know that it's on the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
So we rappel down off the side of the building, possibly under the stealth of night, break in through the window, which perhaps we've left unlocked.
If I'm a student,
During
I
the
can
day.
definitely unlock something. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, either between you doing that or us going in through the skylight and sort of skulking around.
Yeah.
He's only got 6 students, right? Or is it 5?
No,
Four?
Four
Oh,
and one is gone.
even-
So there's only 3
One is-
students
There's 3 students plus him.
and two staff. The cook
No
and
staff,
the
and that's
housekeeper.
Mysterious Jasper.
And mysterious, which that's the one I worry about the most. But
Yep. And by the
And the green
schedule,
creature.
it looks like people are only in that hall from about 9 a.m. to noon.
yeah,
That was
So
the
we
only
go
mention.
in the afternoon.
That was the only mention of the hall on that schedule.
I think
You know?
afternoon sounds better. You can blend in a little better, I think, than at night,
Mhm.
where doors are locked, security systems are on, and I don't know. That's just me, but
So
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, afternoon.
we've got
afternoon.
Snaps and Salvatore doing some recon. We've got Bucket masquerading as a possible new student. Any
by the way,
ideas?
if Bucket rolls a 1, it's going to be a very quick audition.
It'll be interesting either way.
Yes.
You might be able to wander the grounds.
Yeah.
You might
Pose
be
as-
able to manage a tour.
Pose as nobles. If you were to pose as nobles that are touring the ground to see if it is acceptable to send their child, their prodigy, whatever, to this school.
That could
That
work.
gets you next to him, keeps him out of our way, and allows you to get a more succinct view of how this building is laid out, specifically on the inside.
What if you're a debt collector and you say, "Hey, we can forget all of this money thing and all that if you let my kid in the you can kind of bargain, like that, and then that way,
We'd be willing to be a little bit more lenient on the money you
yeah, it
owe.
gives you a little more time, give you a little more time to whatever, maybe eliminate like
We'll take the
25% of it,
tuition
or
fees
Reduce the
equivalency
debt,
out of
yes.
what you owe us.
something like that, or yeah, another
Well,
idea.
if you want, since you are here in Waterdeep, perhaps if Snaps or Salvatore wants to, put their ears to the ground, they could maybe find out what the debt collectors, what he basically owes to different debt
Mhm.
collectors.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Yep.
I was
Yo, Studo.
definitely that's what regardless of what happens, Snaps would like to know why they're what is he in debt for? How much does he owe? Who is he owed this money to? How much is it? Because apparently, if things have gone this badly for him, and he's doing the school, and just to find out really what's going on with that, that would be some good
Yeah.
leverage to use, information to use if needed.
Yeah, so you can make your way through, the various taverns and such here in Waterdeep this evening. It is kind of getting late, so obviously, the more loose tongues and such being in their, being down in their cups. Both of you go ahead and give me investigation checks, if you would.
Okay.
Or if you have a different skill, let's do it this way. Both Salvatore and Snaps, and actually, we'll go ahead and have Reginald, Bucket, and Stinkfoot in here as well. Pick a skill that you have and
Mhm.
explain to me how you're going to use that skill to get information about where he owes money and things of that nature.
Okay, I have the urchin background, and since with the thieves and knowing the thieves guild and the different things, I have the city secrets
Uh-huh.
ability.
What that
So I
allows you to do, that allows you to get through the town and through the
and
city fairly quickly.
hmm so I would go as fast as I can all throughout the city and make the appropriate contacts in order to try to find try to find the people as much as I can, and then with the investigation of yeah.
Well, I'll give you advantage
so
on
great.
that. Sorry, I was off
Okay.
off there. What is okay? 21. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead and what would you like to use, Salvatore?
I would be using my criminal contact. Mostly because we need the writ for Bucket, we need information on his debtors, and we actually probably wouldn't hurt to have a backup copy for Reginald and Stinkfoot as nobles from a far off remote city.
Okay. Do you happen to be skilled with forgery kit?
No, I am not that kind of criminal.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Which is why he said I have to make some connections with people because this is not my purview. You want me to pretend to be a debt collector? I can show up and rough him up because that is the kind of criminal I am. I am an enforcer. I am
He's
there to make sure things get done.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But I will use criminal contact.
Sure. I'll get that on fast then.
Yeah, find my guy, or my guys, as it were, because this is a couple different things, and get the information I need.
Sure. Okay, that will work. What about for Stinkfoot, Bucket, and Reginald? What would you like to use?
Stinkfoot's gonna pose as if they're interested in loaning some money / buying out the debt on this conservatory, and gonna investigate with advantage. Posing as specifically asking questions as to like wanting to buy the debt out and or loan more money to the conservatory.
Okay. And Reginald and Bucket?
Bucket would like to persuade somebody to give him the information, to give him what he needs.
Okay, yeah, sure. Go ahead. Give me a persuasion check.
I'll be
All right,
honest, Stink took the words out of my mouth. I
Uh,
had the same idea.
So I'm gonna persuade that, and no matter what the roll is, I'm gonna use my build for success and add a D4 to my result.
Okay. Oh, nice.
So I rolled a 25, and so I can't even roll a D4. Not that I don't think I need it, but yeah. So that's 28 total.
All right. And then
Give it to
perfect.
me.
And Reginald, what about you?
I honestly was planning on bringing up the same thing Stink mentioned of masquerading as someone who was looking to buy up the debt and wanted to know how much it was looking at.
Okay.
Well, then you should straight up join me. Give yourself advantage. I'll go with you.
Sure. So I would tag team that with Stink.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an investigation.
Investigation. I'm gonna boot myself. Because
Remember, it's not charisma.
oh yeah, I know it's charisma. That's why I'm booping myself. What am I rolling?
Your investigation is your intelligence.
Oh well.
Yeah, I said not charisma.
Not
Okay.
Yes, yes.
charisma.
Okay.
Yeah, investigation. Nice.
Well,
25 as
25.
well with a natural 20 on your check.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're that's a very successful group check. You do find out that he does not owe more than 200 gold to any particular person. But he does owe money in various amounts to different loan sharks and banks in the area. You do know that he owes about 200 gold to the Afterlife Casino. And I'm getting ready to sneeze, so my apologies. Give me one moment. Maybe. Maybe not. You also know that he owes some money at the Blushing Mermaid, a very luxurious inn, tavern, and fest hall that is can be found in the dock ward. About 100 gold to that location. He also owes about. Give me 1 second here. Oops. In the trades ward, he does apparently owe a rather large sum of about 200 gold to the Golden Horn Gambling House, located in the trades ward.
So
He's
one of
got a
the
gambling problem.
yeah. So we can kind of combine two ideas together, I think. If a debt collector brings his autonome to apply to the school, hey, look what I created. He's really good at playing music. He wants to apply here. And if you accept him, we can lower your debt by X amount or whatever, by 75 gold or by 100 gold or whatever and stuff like that, right? So we can kind of combine two ideas to make sure that, I don't know, Bucket gets in, free of charge or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
That's an idea. I think you can combine both.
That's a
So
good
that
way to
way,
use leverage.
that avoids Bucket
Yeah.
trying to explain where he's from, why he looks like that, what about all that stuff, right? So
Just know that a patron of someone you owe money is telling you we will lower what you owe us in exchange for bringing this person in as a student.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
And if needed, you could throw out names like, well, what about gambling at the Golden Horn? You know anything about that? What about, the Blushing Mermaid? You know about
Yeah.
those?
We know where you've been.
We know.
we know that we.
And yes, Salvatore, with your criminal contacts, you're able to get some writs that would show that Stinkfoot and Reginald would be nobles if need be.
Perfect.
Awesome.
All right,
Cool.
so we are getting ready to. We are coming close to the end of the stream, so let's go one more time. I think Reginald takes the best notes. Might be. I don't know if other people have great notes as well. Definitely go ahead and speak up. We'll go through. But let's go ahead through then and walk through the finalized plan for planning the heist.
Oh boy, I haven't written a whole lot for the plan yet, but off the
Oh,
top
okay.
of my head, it sure sounds like Bucket, Stinkfoot, and myself as Reginald will be walking in to propose Bucket as a new student, leveraging some of the debt that Scythian owes.
Okay, and that
Well,
if Bucket is able to get in as a student, then you and Stinkfoot are going to leave, getting some idea of what's inside, correct? And then if Bucket is able to secure a spot as a student, then hopefully trying to get to the spot where they can unlock the skylights above. Is that what the plan was for Snaps and Salvatore?
We said unlock something, the skylight or the door
Well-
or something, you know.
Yeah, we may not need the skylight unlocked. We may be able to break in up top.
yeah, I think the
Yeah.
initial
Third
plan
story window.
was getting a tour of the grounds, if you will, with Bucket
Yeah.
Yes.
as a
tour.
prospective student
I,
to
I-
give us a little insight on what we're actually working with. With Stink with us, we can communicate with Snaps and Salvatore
yeah.
and coordinate how things go from there.
And I think like what Bucket wants to do on his first night is just walk around acting like he's lost, you know, so that way I really want to know, are there any guards, or do they let like a bunch of Dobermans on the the premises at night, you know, or whatever, you know. I want to know what's going on at night if we're planning on doing the heist at night, you know, because the worst he can say is that forget, you can go back to sleep, you can't stay here, and
Mhm.
so, and I don't even need to do that. I can probably just turn invisible and just walk around stealthily and just go anywhere. And then if the alarm kicks in somewhere where I'm not supposed to be, I'll act like, what's going on? What's going on? And then I'm like, I was lost. I'm looking for my room or whatever. So that would
Okay.
be the idea here. Just to say that I can tell my companions that, hey, there are alarms in there, or there's a green dude walking with a machete, you know. So I don't know.
So now that you have an idea of what you're planned about putting your plan into place, is there anything you wish to purchase from any of the different places here in Waterdeep? Keep in mind in your journals, I do have our shared campaigns
Mhm.
handout for Adventurers League that are available for you to purchase throughout the different bazaars and areas of Waterdeep. Also, you have access to the equipment and adventuring gear in the player's handbook as well. So is there anything you'd like to purchase that might help you with these situations? Maybe a crowbar, if you don't have one already, climber's kits, if anyone's wanting to scale the
Need rope.
outside.
Definitely need rope if you
rope.
guys don't have.
Yeah, that's a good idea as well.
Yeah.
I'll get
Wish
an
it-
extra rope. I've got a climber's kit, but I'll go ahead and get some extra rope just in case we need it.
Yeah, I'm sitting on a burglar's pack, so that's 50 feet of rope plus pittons and a hammer and a crowbar.
Nice.
Kind of sad I decided not to bring my slippers for this one.
Can we
Yes,
purchase
me
dynamite
too.
for Plan B?
Unfortunately, there's no dynamite.
Oh, for Plan B, can we purchase dynamite? Okay.
That's Stinkfoot with Fireball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
I also have a crowbar, a grappling hook, and two sets of rope that I can donate to the cause
Oh, okay.
if needed.
Oh,
So
don't
yes,
forget, we have
so
frogs.
keep
We
in
have
And the
mind that-
frogs.
yes, you have some frogs with you as well.
We
How
have
do you
one,
keep
yeah.
them alive, by the way?
Well, I didn't catch them, so you.
Fill the trash can up with water and put them in it.
Love it.
If he sways while he plays music, you get a gentle, like almost like a seashell effect in the background.
Slosh. Croak. Slosh. Croak.
So you can
Slosh.
easily
Ribbit.
spend like a silver piece. Somebody spend a silver piece, and you can easily get a small little container that can hold the 3. I think you got 3 frogs total.
5
I think,
total.
5 total. Okay, yeah. So you can get a container that can keep the frogs, and obviously you
You
have a
have a
ranger with
swarm
you.
of frogs.
Not going to require you to do anything specific to keep the frogs alive because
Yeah.
you do have a ranger with you as well.
I'll manage the frogs. I can take care of that. Add it to my menagerie.
Keep them away from the raccoons. They might get hungry.
Or combined together, like a science experiment.
Frog.
there.
The raccoons are gonna baby Yoda that shit. Well,
Yeah.
They're spirits. I don't think they're gonna eat the frog.
Yeah, they're not real,
you know.
real raccoons. Yeah,
Real, yes. But still.
Not real.
well, real, but like not actual beasts. Yeah, there we go.
So we have a flawless plan. Can't fail.
Of course, it is a flawless plan. So is everyone happy with that one?
Yeah.
I think we got a
Good.
good start here.
All right. So got just a few minutes left here. We'll go ahead and say some finishing remarks here. Of course, we will pick up a raid. We do have the option, of course, in your gold pieces. If anyone would like to redeem any of their gold pieces on stream, I do believe we have it to where you can choose our raid target. If anyone wants to do that.
Yes, and also a reminder for chat. You can use those gold points to affect the game if you so choose.
Yes, keep that in mind next week. You can, of course, give advantage to different players, get disadvantage to the monsters. You can throw out a wild surge.
Yeah.
Scott did give us a wild surge last session.
That was interesting, yes.
Yeah, you can, of course, lead the charge. That is our selecting the raid target. If anyone has anyone in particular they'd like to raid. If not a problem.
You can vote for Bucket for the election. Vote for
Yes.
Bucket for the mayor.
For the mayor.
Bucket for mayor 2024. Yeah. Mayor
So what
Toma.
I'm hearing is we need to start a campaign in that town for Bucket to go against the cow for mayor.
The cow. The cow is interim. I don't know if
Tell
it's
you what,
gonna.
your chances of getting elected will probably be a lot higher if you're able to get this mandolin back for Frody and lay him to rest.
What
That's
was the name of the cow?
Jenna Bean.
Jenny Bean.
Jenny Bean.
Jenny Bean.
Okay.
chat wants to know how many stream points to redeem for me to go on a fireball spree.
It's not a fireball spree.
Fireball spree.
Put her name there.
Cool.
Jenna Bean is the name of the cow.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good cow name, Jenna Bean. Sure.
Yeah.
It does.
All right. Well, just a reminder for everyone, we do, of course, have our streams during the week. Monday evenings, we have around the campfire from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. We probably will not have our Dungeons and Deliberations this Tuesday, as it is Independence Day here in the United States. So we will be off this Tuesday from the Dungeons and Deliberations stream. That's where we're working on eventually having a Thursday live play game in my own campaign world. So we've been working on that. Last week we did some worked on simplifying some of the deities for the characters, and then next week we'll come back next Tuesday to do some more world building and updating my campaign world to a few things to 5th edition. Wednesday, we will be talking, of course, for our tavern talks at the Shifty Boar from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., going through the rest of the Unearthed Arcana for the updates to the player's handbook for 1D&D. Of course, they did drop another set of Unearthed Arcana playtest material last week, just a few days ago, as a matter of fact. We'll probably talk about that on stream here in the next few weeks as well. And of course, we have our dungeon delving on Thursdays and Fridays from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to say before we say our goodbyes?
What unearthed arcana are we going over this week?
This week we're going over the second part. We went through some of the different rules changes. Then we're going to start in looking at the classes. Barbarian, of course, being the first one, and some of the updates in the coming weeks from the new content that was released just a couple of days ago. Hopefully we'll be able to get to that before the survey opens up. I haven't had a chance to really look at the playtest material before I actually look at it live on the stream. So it's kind of a real gut reaction at first and all of that. So yeah,
Hey.
it's going to be interesting to check it out.
As it should be.
Yeah.
The true first reaction.
Very true, very true. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching tonight. We will be back next week, of course, at 7 p.m. Eastern to go through part 2 of Acts from the Grave. Thanks everyone tonight. It was a great stream. Pink Rambo and Sergeant Hunley, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you
Thank
again
you.
next week, of course, as well. Also, you can check out Pink Rambo. She is on Dire Bear GM's channel. If you want to give a shout out for that, Otter, if you would please, in our chat. They're on Thursday evenings, I believe, right?
I'm on
from-
Thursday evenings. We do have we have a whole host of games that occur across a couple of other DMs with Dire Bear. So if you've got nothing to do on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday night, we have shows for you running roughly about the same time that this one does. So
Yeah, and we've rated a couple times over there from some
Actually,
of the stuff as well.
wearing some of our merch.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching.
Thank
Of
you.
course, we want to thank all of our supporters, especially our patrons from Patreon. If you want to help support the channel, please consider becoming a patron or even subbing here on Twitch, twitch.tv/the Master of Dungeons. The link to our Patreon page and, of course, all of our social media accounts can be found in the About Us section below here on Twitch. Subscribe to us if you can on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Give us some likes, retweets, all that good stuff. Every sub, like, and share helps us immensely. You can also have a chance to be on the stream here if you want. Join our Master of Dungeons community Discord server. Again, down below, click on the About Us section. You can find our the Discord panel there. Just click that. You can join our community Discord server. We can help shape a caring, accepting, and inclusive community. Speaking of merch, we do have our merch store up as well. That link is down below. I know Pride Month is finished up, but of course we're leaving our Pride shirts up because we believe every month is Pride Month. You can check that out, that t-shirt out there as well. And thanks all for watching. Please stick around. We're going to go ahead and raid here shortly. But as always, happy adventuring, and we'll see you next time. Take care.